Hi, welcome to Sunday. It is the live stream live from Tenby in Wales. The panel I got tonight is amazing. We've got Trevor, Flat Around and Spun. We've got Richard from Richard's Vinyl Tap House. We've got Joe from on a Vinyl and Racer Joe tonight. And we've also got a new guest who's recently just joined the vinyl community the last couple of months. It's Cam from Vinyl Narrative. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Before we do the intros, tonight's theme is going to be live bands or artists. So live bands or artists you've seen live, and then other ones that you really want to see live that you're able to go and watch them. So we're excluding the Beatles and all the rest of it, just to be clear. So, I'll just go on the panel real quick. Obviously, you've got Trevor. He's joining for the first time.
Yes, thank you.
Really cool to have you on, mate. I noticed you've been on a few live streams in the past, and I watched your video you just done with Spinal Tap with Emma.
Yes, that was fun.
Really cool. I've got to go back and watch them. I watched the first one, I think, to remember what's going on. But yeah, that was cool. I enjoyed that.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
So, yeah. Joe, you've got so many channels, mate.
Well, yeah, I don't really do anything on my personal one anymore. I still do lots on the store one, and that's why I wasn't even sure what to put. So it's just Racer today. But yeah, busy as always. And again, I know you've asked me lots, but it's never been for a fact of not wanting to be here. The timing just worked out well. Joanne's kind of sick of me from this weekend, so she kicked me down in the basement, and away we go. Yeah, so it's great. It's awesome.
Cool. If anybody doesn't know, Joe's got his on a vinyl. What's he called? On a vinyl, isn't it?
Yeah, it's On AV is the main shop, and then the record shop within the main shop is called On a Vinyl. It was a play on the main store title, and it works. Where do you listen to your music? On a vinyl, which we hate when people call them vinyls. But anyway, I digress. So the shop, and then I've got my channel, which I don't do much on anymore. I do the live stuff, and I do the stuff for the store, and I try and do the live stuff. It's just, I find it more fun. I enjoy doing the videos, but I find the live stuff more fun because that's more the traditional hang out with your buddies, your friends, and talk about music. So
cool, very cool. Richard, done a live stream on Friday. That was a good one. You had Mr. Walker on there, Mr. Rob Walker. He popped on to have a chat.
Oh, nice. That was rather surreal. I was like, wait, Rob Walker? Cool. And then Rob from Northern Revolution shows up, and it was a party. 2 hours of it felt very conversational. I really enjoyed that live stream. It was just like truly just chatting about music. It was fun.
Cool. Cam, do you want to introduce yourself to the vinyl community and kind of say what your channel's all about?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Cam, and I'm part of a channel called The Vinyl Narrative. I've been probably watching the vinyl community for at least 10 years, but I thought this year might be the year I should actually get involved and get in front of a camera and start talking away. So my channel's been going for about 3 months now, and I do things like vinyl reviews, a lot of stuff on vinyl reissues, because even though I'm always hunting out that kind of clean OG copy of something, I've been burnt by that sometimes, and that it's not always the best sounding edition that you can get, and I'm always chasing that. So vinyl reissues are usually a good way for me to go, and I just thought it'd be a good way for me to kind of share my experiences with people, so they maybe don't make the mistakes I have in the past with buying some really bad reissues, and so hopefully help them with that. And then also just picking out some kind of music that I really like to talk about, and some underrated gems and things like that just really be a part of the community and join that conversation. So it's cool. So thank you very much for having me tonight.
So, and you've got a cracking Rhino collection there. You've cost me a bit of money.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, it's good. I love that series. I love it. So yeah, I probably won't stop talking about it.
Yeah, brilliant. Right, I'll kick things off tonight then, shall we?
Yeah.
So let's go with bands I've seen live, and then we'll do the flip side of kind of bands you want to see live. So I'll kick things off. I'll make my face big. Oh, good God. So
there it is.
Okay. Band I saw on their last ever tour. They've just done another tour, and that band was Oasis. I saw them in Principality Stadium in front of 70,000 people. Liam came on the stage. He left the stage. I don't know if he was having a smoke or whiskey or what the hell he was doing. He came back on the stage with the tambourine, shook the tambourine, went back off stage and did a few songs, and that was it. Big fan of these. This is the box set that came out. Wasn't able to get the record store day one because of my record store in Tenby in Dales. They sold out within 30 seconds, all 15 of them. Everybody was just grabbing it. So I managed to get the black vinyl. But yeah, it's a cool set to have. Obviously, everybody's used to Oasis, but so on that gig itself, on that concert, I went to watch Oasis, which was the first time I've ever seen Oasis and the only time I've seen Oasis. One of my favorite bands of all time is the Foo Fighters, and they were supported Oasis on that tour. They flew from Australia, where it was like 80 degrees, into Cardiff, which was minus 10. So it was a bit of a shell shock. And I've seen them live 3 times now. So I saw them in the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. I saw them at the Taylor Hawkins tribute, which was an amazing concert in Wembley. And I just saw them, was it last year, in the Principality Stadium again, and the support act was Wet Leg. So,
good one.
Yeah.
And I've seen Liam live in Cardiff Bay. I've also seen Noel live in Cardiff. So there's a full circle right there. So this is I just poked myself in the eye.
You did. You're going to have to watch that back because that looked like that was right into the eye, wasn't it? I don't know. It sure looked like it anyway. But sorry.
Ouch.
Oh, like
Instant replay on that slow-mo.
Yeah,
really.
I actually prefer Noel to Liam, if I'm being honest. I just think he's a better song. He's obviously the brains behind Oasis, but I just prefer his songs. So if you've a good song to check out, If I Had a Gun, that's a really, really good track. And then this one was a record store day release. So this is an acoustic session that Liam did on here. Cast No Shadow, Found You All Right Now, sad song, Stand By Me, and a few others. So those are the ones. Those are my first selection that I've seen live. There's a few more, but I'll let the next person go. Right, we will go. I think next, if my mouse works. Hang on, 2 secs.
I have a question first.
Yeah, go ahead, mate.
So when you say that Liam came out, pissed around a little bit, went away, came back out. So didn't sing any of the songs that he sings, just like was in total Liam mode, was he? Or what was the deal, do you think? Was there any explanation or any reasoning?
I think he was just getting a bit pissed off, to be honest, because Noel was singing most of the songs. So he was kind of... Yeah. You got this, cigarettes and alcohol and Live Forever and all those kind of ones. But It seemed like Noel was taking a lot of the singing. But I think that was the start of the end, to be honest. That was the last.
No, that's fair. That's fair. It just, it would have been interesting to have been there just to watch that dichotomy at the time. I'm super happy that they're back together, that they're getting along, and that the people that are the massive fans. I'm a fan. You guys, I know you're a massive fan. Of course, Rob, a massive fan. So it's good to see that they've kept their shit together. We can swear on this, right? We're okay.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm all up for that. Yeah.
So it's nice to see, because I got to be honest, I was a bit of a doubter. I was thinking, they'll get through a couple and then it will just go to shit again. So it's nice that has not been the case for the big fans, for everyone, and including themselves, right? Whether when they're backstage, whether they just completely go separate ways and never talk to each other than when they're on stage. If that works for them, that's great. And hopefully there's some other, brothers need to get along to a certain extent, but
I was more excited to watch the Foo Fighters when they got announced, to be honest. I was like, yes, Dave's coming to Cardiff. So in slang in Wales, so David is Dai. So it's spelled D-A-I. So it's like a slang, right? And I remember when the boys saying, "Oh, we've got Dai Grohl coming, boys." So it's pretty cool. Right. Okay. I think next we will. Let's have a quick look. Trevor.
Oh, hi. I was telling Chris earlier, I didn't pull a lot of stuff. I was just gonna go with, like a record and then go, wax poetic with it. But not my first concert. This would be my second concert I went to, and this was the opening act of the singer of that band. And I'm 15 years old at the time. This is in an amphitheater in my hometown. I literally live 2 miles away from this place, so it was easy to get there. And little unknown band at the time, saw them on this tour, and that would be Metallica on the Master of Puppets tour. I've told this story a million times, but maybe there's others that haven't heard this yet. So got into these guys about a year prior to this new burgeoning subgenre called thrash metal. And of course, when you're a mid-teenager and your hormones are all over the place, something fast and aggressive is just right there for it. And I was in hook, line, and sinker. So they played on this tour with Ozzy in Detroit, and I grew up about 35 miles north of Detroit, and my parents were not going to drive me down there. So when they were coming to this place called Pine Knob, I was ecstatic. I actually skipped school. Don't do this, kids. Skip school to get tickets for this. And actually, the cool silver lining to that is I met my best friend while getting tickets that day. So show comes around a few months later. We were towards the back of the pavilion in the seated area, and the intro music comes in, which is Ecstasy of Gold from the movie Good, Bad, the Ugly.
Yep.
And we're just sitting there, like, all right, cool, the show's starting. But we start seeing people hurtling over the seats, something that is known now as a stage rush. So, we're 15 years old. We're bulletproof. We're like, fuck it, let's go. I made it down to 5th row. Yep. And I was what would be known as stage right, but for the audience left. So there's literally a pile of people in the center. I couldn't even see Kirk Hammett. That's how big this pile of people were. I could kind of see James Hetfield. I could see Lars because he's up on the drum riser. But Cliff, I had a perfect view of Cliff Burton. So years later, I see photos of Cliff wearing this Dawn of the Dead shirt, the Master of Puppets background. And I'm like, man, that looks exactly like my point of view. Well, I didn't know that world-renowned photographer Ross Halfin was mere feet from where I was taking those pictures.
Wow.
So whenever I see those pictures, and I knew it was from there, or I had a great feeling because most of their stage setup, they had the big crosses up by the drum riser, like on the album cover. Well, this stage was a bit smaller, so they didn't have room for that. So they had their back line on stage. So that was something I knew. So, and then, a couple months later, they're on tour in Europe, and they have the big bus accident where the bus flips, Cliff falls out the window, and the bus lands on him. So tragic. I mean, because an amazing musician and 24 years old, who knows what could have been. But I was just grateful that I got to see that show and see that lineup. And it's stuck with me for coming up 40 years now. So Metallica, my first foray into a live metal show.
I've never heard that story. That's quite incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have another question. Should I raise my hands when I have a question, or
Go on, mate.
So you saw them on the 72 Seasons tour, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So comparison.
Oh, not even close.
A little comparison. Like super raw early back then and polished and don't give a shit now. Because I mean, I've seen them lately. I never saw them back in the day. So
Okay, for 72 Seasons, I wasn't even planning on going. My daughter asked to go.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, because my last time seeing them was in 1998,
Ooh.
and they were touring. Well, they did a mini tour, 5 dates, promo tour in theaters for Garage Inc. So their entire set was nothing but cover songs.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and by that time, that was like my 10th time seeing them, and I'm like, you know what? They are never going to top this show. I don't need to see them again. So for the math, like over 25 years, I did not see them. Yeah. So until my daughter asked, and who am I to deny that? I'm like, I vowed I was never going to see them again.
Yeah, that's right. Damn it. Yeah.
So we had a good time, but I mean, to me now, Metallica is dad rock at this point.
Yeah, I'll give you that for sure.
And I have the authority to say that because I am a dad.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. He's allowed. Yeah. No, that makes sense. It's fast. You win for best mug of the day. No offense to anybody else's mug. And yeah, there you go. And skip school and buy concert tickets. Buy concert tickets. Don't skip school just to skip school.
Yeah, this is so kids. This is before you went online to buy tickets.
Right.
You actually had to go to the venue or go to a store that had an outlet for. Well, here, I mean, I guess Ticketmaster's over there, right? Or is it a different ticket broker? Yeah, they're global. But yeah, so that was the fun. That was half the experience, was getting the tickets.
Yeah.
I wish they'd do that again and like give us a physical ticket.
Yeah.
There's pluses and minuses to that, and I get why Richard says no.
Minuses. Go ahead.
No, I get why you say no, but at the same time, I don't know if you watched the other night. My little pissed off about Ticketmaster, so I go stand in line for some tickets to some shows. But anyway, I've got
true.
Yeah. So
well, even just give us the physical ticket. Like just give us the physical ticket.
Yeah. I do miss that. I do not miss standing in line. It reminds me of kind of like what Record Store Day is now, where you're standing in line and then the door opens and you trickle in because it's one person. It's just, so yeah.
Yeah.
Then it call 1-800 whatever and you're on hold forever. Now you're online and the system crashes. There's no good way to do it, it seems.
Yeah. Cool. Right. While he's on a rant, just get him up. Go on in, Rich.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was funny when Trevor got picked for that first round and he kind of jumped. And it was like, it reminded me of like when the teacher would call on you randomly to answer a question. Same thing. I could have gone so many routes as far as like, what do I talk about first? But I think I'm going to go to kind of like, the big impressive ones. I've seen a lot of, I'm sorry, I'm going to lay it out there. I've seen a shit ton of concerts. We're talking like hundreds, plural. And I've seen a lot of people in a lot of places. The one that sticks out the most for me, though, was Lollapalooza in 92. I knew Trevor would appreciate that one. Yeah, because this is the year that Pearl Jam was really breaking out in a huge way. So they were touring the 10 album. There's my lovely little ticket. So I saw Lollapalooza. We were on the lawn. This ticket cost $20.50.
Yeah. That's
to
great.
see Pearl Jam, Ministry, Lush. Who else was on that bill? Red Hot Chili Peppers closed.
Soundgarden.
Soundgarden. Forgot about that one. Thank you.
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube was on the main stage, and then there was like a whole second stage, and I never even went over there because we were just like, we're staying here. This is so great. And the weather, I remember the weather was perfect all the way up until Red Hot Chili Peppers came on, and then it was the year they were, I think Blood Sugar Sex Magic had just came out, and they have the fire hats.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So they're up in flames, and it's just bucketing rain, and the entire grass area was a mud hole, and people were like mudsliding and all this. It was so fun. But yeah, it's also, if I could find the record, bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, time's up.
He found it.
Yes, I did. The second loudest concert I've ever seen was actually part of that Lollapalooza set, and it was when Ministry came out.
Yeah.
And they were just like, "This is an outdoor," and Joe's been there. It was at Fiddler's Green.
Okay,
in
yeah.
Denver. So
Yeah.
outdoor venue in a neighborhood, residential / commercial area. So like over there is residential, over here is the interstate and a bunch of offices. They were like, you know what? We don't care if there's a sound ordinance.
Crank.
And just cranked it. It was so freaking loud. We were up at the grass level and it was loud back there too. Just nuts. So yeah, that's solidified my love affair with Ministry, who I've also seen about like 7 or 8 times over the years. But yeah, that was the most memorable festival. There'll be another one I might talk about later, depending on where the flow of the conversation goes. But at the time, I was living on the other side of Colorado State, and we had to drive like 6 hours from there to get to Denver. Did an overnight thing. I remember I bought Soundgarden's what is that album?
Super Unknown.
Bad Motorfinger or Louder Than Love.
Motorfinger, it was that year, wasn't it? I think it
Yeah.
came out that year. So I bought Bad Motorfinger, and it turned out it was the double CD that has the EP on disc 2, and I was like, cool, good score.
Yeah.
So it's like those little things that kind of go together in a package with a festival. You remember like where you were, where you lived, how long it took to get there, what the weather was like, all those little neat details that turn it into a true memory. But I still have the hat. I should have brought that, the Lollapalooza hat with the logo on it. So yeah, that's my Lollapalooza memory of festival fun.
Lollapalooza was feral, right? That
Yeah.
kind of put that together, wasn't that Barry, right? So yeah,
And Ministry was pretty feral that day too.
they were. Weren't they? Yeah. And the Chili Peppers had to wear nylon socks instead of wool socks for the day
Yeah.
because it was raining so much.
Yeah,
Haven't
that's
seen
what,
them.
when was that? It was in July, so it was really freaking hot if I remember right too.
Yeah. That's a great little venue too. Not little. I mean, it's smaller, I guess, but yeah, that would have been fantastic. Up on the grass, that's where we sat when we went to the show that we went to. Yeah, it's just a great venue. So
Yeah,
it's
I've
not
been there
Red Rock,
several
but
times.
it's a pretty good venue. So
Yeah, it's not, can't even call it mini Red Rocks, but it's like, it's your next best bet around here to Red Rocks, and Red Rocks will feature in this conversation
Good.
tonight.
I thought it might.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's awesome. Good.
Right. We're as soon as he's had a swig, we're off to Canada with Joe.
Sure. Okay. Take off, eh? Let's start off. This'll be a little bit because I knew Trevor was going to be on. It's also the guy that I've seen the most times live, if I remember correctly. There's one other that might be it. There's a couple that I can't really remember for sure. But anyway, it is Alice Cooper, and I went with a little bit of a bootleg One Halloween Night, and this is specifically recorded live in Saginaw, Michigan. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of that or not, but
Yeah, a few times.
exactly. Halloween Night, 1978. And then there's some special thanks on there. But that's who you want to see on Halloween Night, right? I mean, there's a couple others, but to see Alice in 1970, have you been to a Halloween show of his?
Yeah, my first time seeing him, 87 Halloween night.
Perfect. Yeah. We there's a bunch of bands like, you guys know, I've seen Kiss and I've seen a bunch, but Alice is just always such a fantastic show. And it's always a little more intimate. He doesn't play, I mean, he can, and it's not that he can't fill those places, but he doesn't play the bigger arenas and he doesn't play the big stadiums and things like that. If he's part of a bill, maybe, but he's more like, if he comes here, we have a smaller, like a 5,000 seat venue, which is meant more for like the symphony than it is for rock shows. But that's where he plays, because his shows, there's explosions, but not many. But instead of, you know, big screens, there's a big blow up $1 billion baby, right? They blow him up and he walks out and he walks around, and it's all theatrical more so. Alice's wife comes out. She's the nurse. She's all the things that she is. And his daughter did it for a while. So it's always just such a fantastic show. I would go see him yesterday, today, and tomorrow, because he just really always puts on such a great show. And again, and he still sounds fantastic at, I don't know, 78, 75. He's 70s. I might be aging him just a little bit, but it's awesome. He still does a ton of tours. His band is always phenomenal. Nina right now, Nina is unbelievable, but his whole band is fantastic. And he's always had great guitar players. He's always had just fantastic musicians around him. And it's
I've seen him live. He the support act. He came to Cardiff, so you talk about 5,000 capacity. That was kind of the arena that in Cardiff for people to watch these bands. And the support act was Twisted Sister.
Oh, really? That'd be good. Supposedly going out on a 50th anniversary tour, Twisted Sister. Yeah. I'm not sure how much of a tour it will be, and we'll see whether it lasts or not. But it's like I said, he's just always fantastic, and he was fantastic last year. He was fantastic back in the 1980s on the Trash tour and stuff like that. So it's always a very, very good, intimate, fun show when Alice comes to town. And I'd go see him again tomorrow. So
I'm finding the more people are showing stuff, the more I'm thinking, yeah, I've seen them live.
Yeah.
Like, forget.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. We'll go over to Cam now in the UK. You know, mate?
Yeah, all good. So I thought I'd start with probably my favourite gig story, because it's kind of like it went back into the past almost. It was the time that I got to see Prince. And this is probably my favourite Prince album, I think, Sign of the Times. So it was back in, I think, 2013 or 14. So I didn't get a chance to see him when he was over here doing like his residential in the O2, which is like one of the bigger arenas over here in the UK. But I got to see him. It was even better almost, because I got to see him at a really small jazz bar in London called Ronnie Scott's, which a lot of people might be quite familiar with, especially if you're into the jazz scene. But yeah, it was a really weird one, because it was almost like one of his very last tours that he did before he unfortunately passed away. But yeah, it was so weird, because it was almost like this tour was not really happening. He was just kind of announcing dates the night before he played them. And so he did like a real like kind of little circuit around London at some really small venues, and he was charging like £20 a ticket.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And that was just pretty crazy, considering like I think his last tour over here in the UK, it was like, you know, £50 or £60 to go see him, which, you know, you're probably going to pay if it's Prince, but unfortunately I didn't get tickets for any of those dates, sadly. But yeah, the Ronnie Scott's date, it was weird. I kind of got up at like 5:30 in the morning, drove up to London, which is like an hour and a half drive for me, and met my friend Dan at his house, got on the tube, went into central London, and then walked up to Ronnie Scott's club, and there was like literally nothing there apart from like 20 people queuing at the door, and they're all kind of had this like Twitter buzz when it was called Twitter a few years ago. And we were all like asking people who were coming in and out of Ronnie Scott's, like people like bar staff coming out from the night before and people like that, like, is Prince playing tonight with this band Third Eye Girl, which is like the new girl group that he was kind of playing alongside. And they were like, no, I haven't heard anything about it. I think it's just a rumor. So we were like, okay, well, we'll stick around. I've got up early for a reason. I'm just going to stick around, and if nothing happens, I'm in London. I'm sure I'll find something to do. But we ended up queuing until like 7:30 at night. And that queue just kept getting bigger and bigger as like these rumors started to swirl online that it might be happening. And it must have been half an hour before the show actually started, because it did happen, obviously. But he put this board out that just said Prince and Third Eye Girl tonight, and that was it.
Wow.
And it was just people queuing up to get in one by one, coming in, and you pay. I think I paid £20. It might have even been £25, which is just crazy. Went into the bar area, and managed to get the third row behind the stage. And it's like not an elevated stage or anything. It's like a level floor stage in there. And you kind of just wait for him to come out. You forget how small he is.
Right.
How small he was, right? I'm like 5'6", and he's 5'3", I think, when he's not wearing heels. And he came out, and just incredible show, incredibly intimate. No phones were allowed. There's people like bouncers shining lights on you if you got your phone out to take a picture. But I managed to get a quick snap of him, and just an incredible hour-long show of so many hits. And in true kind of Prince style, he was just kind of going round on each of the instruments. So he got on the piano, he took the bassist's guitar off her and just started playing the bass on I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man. He played the bass on that track.
Right.
And then he did a Bill Withers cover as well. It was just an incredible show. And because I've been up so early, and I think I can't remember what time we finished. But you kind of go out the venue and you're like, is that a dream? It's just because it was dark when I got there, dark when I walked out. And just incredible. Absolutely amazing show. So so glad I got to see him before he passed away. So
Wow.
there we go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, what's the capacity of that club?
It must be under 1,000.
Wow.
Yeah,
Easily
Ronnie
under
Scott's
1,000.
is really small. I haven't been in, but it's just a little jazz club in the middle of Leicester Square, and it's just
Yeah. Well,
Like-
I know around the same time, I think he was doing these little club mini residents here in Seattle. He played the Showbox near the Pike Place Market, and that place holds maybe 800 people, and the tickets were $300, which nowadays sounds like
it's nothing. Oh, right.
This is probably, I want to say 2012, somewhere around there.
See, that's why he came here too. He played at the Fillmore, which is about a little 3,000-ish, and I tried to get tickets for that, but it sold out instantly.
Right.
But
So we have the category of those that we've seen, and we're going to do the category of those we'd like to see. In the middle is the category of regrets, and that's my regret. It's because he played here. Oh, he's never going to play the hits. He's going to be attitude Prince. He's not going to play the hits. I'm going to go, and I'm not going to enjoy it. And then that was like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? It's Prince. But I didn't go, and then he passed away. Right? It was like, holy shit! What are you doing? Just go. It's Prince. Who cares what he plays? But so
You
that's
just
why
gotta
I
buy
had
the
an
ticket.
excuse. I
You gotta
couldn't
find
get
that.
tickets.
So this is a good comment here. Boz. Hi everyone, what did I miss? Wow.
Nothing much.
nothing.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna let Cam keep talking to this point. Because we're not gonna beat any of this.
That's an awesome story, though. That's great. You gotta love those. You gotta love those
Oh,
when they happen. So
Yeah, it's amazing. And like I was saying, it's kind of like you go back in time to the bit where you're queuing up for tickets to the box office. As much as you wouldn't want to do that week in, week out, I don't think anymore. Like Richard's saying, it was kind of cool at the same time, just getting to talk to people in the queue and almost like pre-gig gamble. So it's cool.
and the anticipation that whole day. Oh man, I hope this happens. Oh shit, this might not happen. Oh, I hope this happens. That would have been part of the charm. And then when it did happen, that's pretty fantastic. That's great.
So
Yeah, it's amazing.
not to hijack this, but just a quick round. Have you guys seen what would be a local band that made it big, but you saw them really early?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
Borderline Canadian big, sure. Yeah, because we didn't have a bunch of big names, so Canadian big, yeah, a little bit, but
okay, just a real quick round. Like, name
Yeah, like as an example, I saw the Northern Pikes played when I was in high school, and they went on to do fairly well in Canada, not internationally. So again, I'm not in Denver and or some of the other places. I haven't been in Detroit, now Seattle. Detroit would have been more of the time frame you'd be talking about. And then you guys probably have lots of options for bands that came out of, maybe not Chris, I don't know, but
Well, you got the big massive one, the Stereophonics.
sure, yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. So when did you see the Stereophonics first? Was it, as Trevor said, before? We'll call it before.
Yeah, I used to watch them practice in the local pub in the Thorn Hotel where I used to live. And they used to practice in the basement where they used to keep all the beer and stuff, and you could hear them from downstairs playing. They were called the Tragic Love Company before they were the Stereophonics.
Oh, okay.
And one of the members from the Tragic Love Company quit, and then 2 weeks later they got signed by Richard Branson on Virgin. So yeah,
That's some timing, eh?
Yeah.
yeah, he became their rodeo after, so it wasn't so bad. He didn't make it so bad. So yeah.
That's good.
So
Well,
yeah,
I saw the White Stripes.
yes.
Well, my brother-in-law would see him all the time at this place called the Golden Dollar, which is like this total dive bar,
Yeah.
like kind of where they start out. I saw him at a place called the Magic Bag, probably about 400 cap. They were doing a preliminary. I could speak English.
Hey, you're okay. You got it.
Go on, mate. Go on.
But it was right before White Blood Cells came out, the kind of like their breakthrough album. It was right before that came out. They did like 3 dates in
Cool.
Detroit at little clubs, and this club was at the end of my block.
Yeah.
So I just literally walked there and
Like it was
just
like
saw,
your
like,
local-
yeah, it's White Stripes. Okay, cool. Because I've seen them around so much. But yeah, and now Jack White is like especially in the vinyl community, like one of the sacred cow guys.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, he's done lots. And Cam, you?
Yeah.
No one local to me, but I've seen a lot of bands like before they've released their like debut album and then just become absolutely huge.
Okay.
A US band, so they were over here doing a small tour, but the Killers.
Oh,
It was
okay.
before they
Yeah.
released Hot Fuzz, or Hot Fuss, sorry. And yeah, great. You knew they were going to be big from that show. They were just incredible showmanship, and I'm not a huge fan of them these days, but I still think they're a huge band over here. I don't know if they still are in the US. Are they still considered a big?
I don't know.
band?
Richard, what do you think? Like theater size? I haven't even.
Yeah,
listened
they
to 'em.
well, see, I've come both ways with the Killers. I saw them on the early days of Hot Fuzz in a 400 seater, and it was just like, this is like so cabaret in Las Vegas. This is cool. These
Yeah.
guys are big. And then I saw them a couple years later, and they were headlining Reading Festival, and I'm like, holy geez, you come from here to that? So yeah. But for me, at the time when I lived in DC, I got a lot of the East Coast bands that were just getting big. So I saw Linkin Park on their first tour,
Mhm.
and I saw Godsmack on their first tour,
Yeah.
and like teeny-ish venues for East Coast. But yeah, as far as like local bands here, no,
Okay.
but definitely in DC.
I'll blow this one right quick and get it out of the way. So the Killers is on my list of needs to see still, because they haven't been around here. I haven't had the opportunity to travel to go and see them yet, which I've started to do more since I've had the time to do that. So yeah, maybe a little less popular than they were. They haven't really had a lot of radio play, if that constitutes popularity in the last little while, I don't think. But I still think it'd be a very good show, and I've never had a chance to see them, so they're certainly on my list of I would like to see. So
I think the Killers were bigger in Britain than they were anywhere else. If
Oh,
I'm being
I
perfectly
agree.
honest.
By far.
Yeah.
They've done Glastonbury, man. It's like they headlined in Glastonbury with the Pet Shop Boys. It's like pinnacle there.
Yeah.
So, more done. Just
Martin.
letting you kind gentlemen know I'm watching over here. He said in a New York accent for some reason.
Just to let you know.
So,
Yeah.
Right. I will go. Is it my go? Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
I couldn't remember which order we were in then. Right. Okay. So bands I've seen live. It wouldn't be a live stream on my show if I didn't show this band. Okay. So let's
Oh,
just
show
get
'em.
on with the Stereophonic. This is the latest album. Richard, I believe you've got this one as well.
Yeah, gee, I wonder where I got that from.
Well, it's on a nice pink vinyl. I like a bit of pink. So, yeah. It's a good album. Make them laugh, make them cry, make them wait. It's a bit more chilled out to their normal stuff. It's a bit more relaxing. Kelly Johnson has given an interview saying, I can't be a full-on metal rocker anymore. My voice will just not take because he's had an operation. So he's kind of like, we've got to dial it down a bit. And I've also, so I know Kelly, I know the boys. It's kind of like, this is like my Blue Rodeo.
Yeah. We all know, we all get that reference. I think this is my
Yeah.
new rodeo. Yeah.
And
Right, Richard, take score.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen so me and Liz have got to watch Kelly played in a church 2 years ago in Cardiff, just a small chapel church, holds 200 people, and he's doing like a UK tour. I saw him there. He said, "Oh, I'll sign it if you want, Chris." So he signed that one. That was the live tour. This was from when I watched him on his last tour. So he covering all the Stereophonic songs on acoustic. The only one he does in a rock one is obviously Dakota, which is the last one. So, yeah. I had to mention them. What am I going to do? It's like, I've seen them like 12 times. So,
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Same question I asked Trevor, though, who saw Metallica early in Metallica recently, because you saw them about 2 months ago, right? So
Yeah.
the progression, or is it a lot different? Are they better stage presence, or how was the change from 20 years ago to now?
it's quite funny, Joe, because they're still pretty much the same. They're going to give you the bangers. They're going to give you the songs you want to hear, and they may put new stuff in between. If they're going to put new stuff in between, Kelly will come to the front of the stage and he'll do an acoustic session.
Okay.
And then he'll go back to the rock. Because
Yeah.
that's what people want. They want the older stuff. They want the stuff, if you're going to watch Bon Jovi live, they don't want the new album. They want
No.
Living on a Prayer and It's My Life and all the rest of the good tunes. So, but
Yeah.
they're still the same band. There's more members have joined. But they're still the same lads, Kelly still goes to the terrace streets where his parents still live, Richard's dad still owns a scaffolding company that he still works at.
That's
And then when Richard goes home, he's got to give his hand a hand with the scaffolding. He's like, well, while you're here, you can come down the road with me and give me a hand. So he's still the same lads. Nothing's changed.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, the worst thing you can hear at a concert is, and now something from the new album, or here's something we're working on. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it's good, but anyway, that's good because I've seen some acts a long time ago and then more recently, and there's voice changes and things like that. But sometimes the show stays fairly similar. They don't change a whole heck of a lot, but technology has changed, right? That's probably one thing with Metallica, Trevor, is the technology from Master of Puppets shows to 72 season shows, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
And what I love the most about this show is, so the first, they have two supporting acts before they go on. So the first one will just play in Welsh if they're in Cardiff.
Okay.
Just Welsh, right?
Yeah.
And you got English people, Scottish people going, all right, what the fuck is going on? What are they
Yeah.
And then they'll have like a local band from Cardiff that are struggling. So Kelly's wife goes out to the local bars and pubs and listens to these bands play. And then at the end of the night, she thinks, oh, they need a break. Do you fancy doing the Principality Stadium in front of 80,000 people in a few nights? Like, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool that way. So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's good. So I talked to Joanne and said, I'm going to go on my show, on my buddy's Chris's show. And she goes, where's he from? And I said Cardiff, which is not right, but kind of right.
I live in Tenby in West Wales, so I'm as west as you can get before you get to Ireland.
Okay, well, I said
Cardiff.
Cardiff.
Yeah, it's fine. Everybody says Cardiff.
So she started looking up stuff. So she found an apartment for us already. She's there, and then she also came across a road that is called Dumballs. Are you familiar with the road Dumballs in Cardiff, Wales?
I knew a few people would call that, but
That's what I thought. Yeah, I can't say anything. I'm from Regina, but anyway, I digress. Look, it's Trevor's turn. So.
Yeah, don't ask me to pronounce the longest
No.
village in Britain in the world because it's just not going to happen, right? So we'll just move on.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go with something a bit unusual. A few people know about this one. Okay, my wife and I musically are on completely different spectrums. But there was one artist that we both agreed on, that we both loved. We discovered her on Saturday Night Live in 2008. What I used to do is I would DVR Saturday Night Live, and Sunday morning make breakfast. We'd watch it, and normally I'd skip over the musical guest because half the time I didn't care for him. But we watched this girl. I'm like, man, she could sing. So we got the record. We both loved it, and now my wife always wanted to come out here to move to Seattle, and this is when we were in Michigan at the time. And I'm like, I'd never been there, so let's take a trip. It's January. That's in my line of work. I want to know what the weather's going to be like in crappy times of year. And this person was playing in Seattle in a club. It was sold out, but we managed to get tickets through someone who won tickets, and they sold theirs. Face value, $20 a piece.
Nice.
On her first tour, that was Adele.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Yeah, so in this place called Numos, holds 800 people. So we got to see her in the club days.
Cool.
And then actually a couple months later, we did see her in Detroit at another club that also held 800. The Seattle show was much better. By the time she got to Detroit, she looked tired because she was really working this album a lot. And those were the only two times we saw her live, because the next record she got even bigger.
Yeah.
And, she went from when she was going to play at a theater here in Seattle, but it got moved to the arena. And by that time, tickets were $200. And, I was at the time, $200 tickets were just completely out of the question. Yeah. And, and then by the third or fourth record came out, was it 30? Is 30 or third or fourth record?
I think 19, 21, 30. And I don't know. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, 30 became a joke in the vinyl community because it tied up a lot of the pressing plants. They, brought out a bunch of them, and now you could find them for less than $10.
Yeah.
But this album, 19, is brilliant from top to bottom. Her cover of Bob Dylan's "Make You Feel My Love" was actually mine and my wife's wedding song. So her version of it. So yeah, it was great to see her in a club, and before she got completely huge. And yeah. So Adele.
Do you know what I love about Adele, right? And I've seen her on YouTube doing this. If she thinks the song doesn't start well, she'll just stop the song and go, let's go again. Because people have paid their money to come and see me.
I can't recall. I'm sure she did. But as sometimes I get it, and I like that attitude. These people paid money to see a good performance. Let's put on a good performance. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with starting over.
No, yeah. I agree.
And it shows that they're human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So
that would have been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, mate. Very, very cool. I'd love to see Adele live. I think it's one of them female artists I would love to see live, but I wouldn't want to go to a stadium and watch her live. I think it'd have to be like you watch it like an intimate kind of concert, but then getting tickets for that would be
Yeah. Well, like I said, both shows each time $20.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
unheard of now.
That's parking. Maybe that's cheap parking.
yeah.
Cheap parking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cheap parking here, but yeah, I don't know if I would go see her now. It's kind of like what I was like with Metallica. I could go see them, but there are other bands I want to see. I'd rather put my money towards.
Right.
Cool.
But we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Sure. Right.
I'm up. Surprise,
Let's go to
surprise.
Yay.
For this round, I've decided it's time to go to Red Rocks. So
There it is.
now I've been to Red Rocks when having lived in Denver now for the last 20 years, but I've been to Red Rocks back in the 90s when I didn't live in this area. It was a commute and it was an adventure. But the very first time I ever went to Red Rocks was I have to look at tickets, and the print is very bad on this.
I love the fact you have them. That's awesome.
I know. I have tickets from, not my first concerts, but like probably my fourth from there on.
Right on.
I
Good.
can tell, well, it's whenever this album came out, we'll figure it out. It was in the early 90s. Anyway, I saw Stone Temple Pilots on the Purple tour. That was my first show. Put that there, so it was big. My first show at Red Rocks ever. I went with a friend of mine. I was living in Colorado Springs at the time. And you want to talk about your first experience at Red Rocks. You walk, it's just a place of, it's almost like an out-of-body experience. You walk in, it is so gorgeous, and then the sun goes down. You're looking towards, Denver, and the lights come up. Then, the rocks are lit on both sides of where you're sitting. It's so intimate, and it only holds like about 10,000 people. So it's not huge by any means.
Mhm.
Stone Temple Pilots on this tour, they were doing their sort of little unplugged mini set. It was
Mhm.
right in the middle. So, and I've seen Scott Weiland a couple of times. I saw him with Velvet Revolver too, in a different venue. Tickets for this were $18.50
Nice.
Nice.
for Red Rocks in the 90s.
Yeah, that
Now
would be
$80. But
that record was from '94.
okay, so 94, that aligns because then I moved to DC in 96. I also saw around that time, this one I have the date. Oh, no, that couldn't have been 94. There's no way. Are you sure?
If we
No,
only had
the-
devices that we could look up such information.
I believe both of you. Here, I got Discogs open. Hold on.
Yeah.
Purple, right?
Let's just go to a commercial break and we'll be right back with you now. Just bear with us.
Maybe it might have been just before Purple was released, but they played that.
June 7th, 1994.
There you go.
Okay, that's weird. So then maybe my first concert wasn't that. It was Sting.
Okay.
Because this was in 93. Go figure. That doesn't make sense, though. Oh, well. Whatever. I'm old and I forget things. That happens.
Yeah.
But
Fair.
anyway,
Yeah,
I've seen
I'm
Sting at
comfortable.
Red Rocks. I've seen Sting at Red Rocks a couple of times. I saw him on this tour, and then I saw him on Soul Cage's tour, too. So that was 2 times I saw them. Who else? I've seen Bjork at Red Rocks. And this is Vespertine, I think.
What was that like, Rich?
What?
What was that like watching her live?
Well, there's 2 things about Bjork. I saw Bjork with the Sugar Cubes, open for a band that I'm going to talk about later. And then I saw her solo on this one. About halfway through this show, I was kind of going, maybe I should leave early. I think I did.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was just like, okay, I've heard the 5 songs I really came to hear, and now I'm kind of done because she was really touring. And the as her career has progressed, she's gotten more artsy and experimental in ways that I'm just kind of going, I'm not too interested. But to say I saw Bjork at Red Rocks is
That's fair. Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I've seen Sigur Rós at Red Rocks. I've seen Sammy Hagar at Red Rocks twice on two different incarnations of what Sammy's been doing over the years. I've seen others. I've seen good concerts. I've seen really bad ones. Joe will appreciate this. I saw Alanis Morissette open with Bare Naked Ladies.
Yeah. And was
That
that a
was
bad
fun.
one?
Huh?
Was that a bad one? You just said that right after you said
No. That was a good one. 311 was a bad one. 311 was terrible.
Yeah. No, Bare Naked Ladies.
Social Distortion. I saw Social Distortion at Red Rocks too. That was fun.
Yeah. Nice.
So I've seen a lot of shows at Red Rocks. I can't say I've been in years just because a lot of the acts that are playing there are usually up and coming, big boombox beats, EDM, whatever the hell it is, and where the bass just echoes across the canyons and the residents get pissed. And tickets are like $300. I'm like, nope, not going. So that's my Red Rocks experience. I recommend it to anybody just to say you've been to Red Rocks, just go.
Yeah.
It's one of my
Make a plan.
Yeah, definitely a bucket list.
It's on, if there's a bucket list, it's on it for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Brilliant. Cool. Right.
Right.
Joe.
All right. What the hell? You mentioned them. So let's talk about Social Distortion.
Yes.
Because they were in the file. Thankfully, I live in, it's not the smallest city or province in the world, but we don't get a lot of shows. Even these days, people still pass over. I'm not sure why. We have venues that hold a decent amount. We have a big stadium for stadium tours. But anyway, people seem to fly over Saskatchewan. I'm not sure why. But 5-6 years ago, something like that, small club, like maybe 1,000 or whatever in Saskatoon. Them, and I can't remember the openers. The openers were, some bands, I think probably from LA or whatever that they had brought along. And not that they weren't good. I just, off the top of my head, I can't remember. But finally got a chance to see Mike and the crew. And it wasn't till, like I said, till about 5 years ago. So I used to not be able to travel to shows as much other than within the province. So I couldn't, I didn't. I don't know why I didn't, but I didn't. I saw a lot of shows, but I saw the ones that came close-ish. Anyway, so it was really nice to see that they came through. I was going to try and go. They had a tour booked, I think, last year, and then was it brain cancer, I think, that Ness got or something? He had some form of cancer.
Some kind of cancer.
I think he's good now, I think. I mean, as good as you can be. So I think he's back, or whether they're playing or not. But just a fantastic show. Again, a small club. They did everything that you wanted. You knew it was time for the encore. They didn't go away. They were one of those bands. It's like, well, this is fucking stupid. We're just going to stand out here. But he goes, okay, what do you want to hear? And then so everybody's yelling stuff. He goes, yeah, whatever. It says we're playing this song on the set list, so this is the song I'm playing. I just wanted to see what you guys thought. And then they played. I think they did Ring of Fire, but good show, great show. I'd love to see him again. I'd go again. They put on a fantastic show. I don't know how much more Mike's got left in him that he's going to be able to get out there and tour. And I don't know what he would be like now after the last couple of years and the health issues, but they were fantastic when I saw them. So I was very glad to have finally seen them, having listened to them back to the self-titled album and through White Heat, White Trash, White Light, and all that great stuff. It was nice to see them live because they were fantastic. And they would have been fun in a big venue. I saw good Christ, who the hell did I see that opened up for Green Day? Not the Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid. Rancid was great in the big venue opening up, but they would have been pretty fun in a club too. But they were great in a smaller, let's say 500 to 1,000 seat club. So it was good stuff.
So was that Social D? Was that the 40th anniversary tour?
It might have been. Like I said, it was about 5 years or so ago, something like that. And he had two openers. They were both fantastic, and I don't know why their names escape me. I'm sure I could look it up and find out. But
yeah, because it was in 2019. I saw them. They were co-headlining with Flogging Molly.
No, okay, yeah, that would have been very good. So
that was a fun show.
Yeah, like I said, it'd be cool to see them open up in a big stadium as well for someone because they're never going to fill anything. Much like seeing Rancid open for Green Day, it was great. But at the same time, like I said, Rancid probably would have been fantastic in a smaller club and got a bigger, longer set and stuff like that too. So just good stuff. And I don't talk enough about them. I really like these guys, and I should talk about them more on these types of things. So
we're going to the comments real quick. Morton has been to Red Rocks.
Man.
I wear my Red Sox when I go to Red Rocks. It's like Dr. Seuss.
I knew I was going to fuck up then. Right, okay. Right, let's keep this moving. Okay. Cam.
Me again. I will go with a band that I saw just after their debut album was released at Glastonbury, actually. And it's the only one time I've been to Glastonbury. It's another US band, actually. Haim, three sisters. They're quite big in the pop world, I think. And I don't know if they're one of those ones that are bigger in the over here than they are in the States. I'm not too sure. But I think Taylor Swift has probably done them a bit of a favor, and they've opened for Taylor Swift, and then they've just, that's it. They've kind of skyrocketed in popularity. But they were just like incredible at Glastonbury. They were on the other stage at Glastonbury, so not the Pyramid. And yeah, they were just amazing. I was a casual fan of them, but after that show, I absolutely loved them, and I've loved them ever since. And it's kind of like you go to see like three Sheila E's on stage, because they do like a little mini encore where they just all hit the drums, and they've all got their own like part of the drum kit separated across the stage, and it's just quite cool to see. But yeah, this is my favorite album by them. Yeah, Women in Music Part 3. It's just a lovely album, and I really want to see them again, but I think I've just missed out. They've just played a show, I think, at the UK, and I've missed out on tickets for that. But yeah, Chris, have you seen them before over in like Cardiff or anywhere?
No, they've never come to Cardiff. So it's one of them situations. I think they do like Brixton Academy. They do kind of like the small ones. They could probably do the O2. I could see them do the O2. The problem with them is I always get them really confused with First Aid Kit. For some reason, do you know the First Aid Kit?
Okay, yeah.
I always get them mixed up. It's like Ben Stiller and Ben. Oh, what the fuck? I can't remember his name. I always get Ben Stiller confused with the other guy. Oh, fuck's sake, I can't remember.
Your Ben's mixed up.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Your Ben's. It's Ben Blind.
So the Happy Gilmore guy, what's his name? I get him confused.
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler,
yeah. I get them too confused. It's kind of like that. But that's a band I'd love to see live. I think, yeah. Anyway, fucking hell.
Yeah.
I just sold a First Aid Kit album at the shop yesterday. We had in. So yeah.
What do you think of them, Joe?
It was good. I mean, I listened to it. I don't have anything personally, but I did listen to it in the shop, and it was good. I enjoyed it. So it probably should have made its way home, but I left it at the shop, and then it sold yesterday, which is a good thing. It's supposed to do that. But I have a question. I have to put my hand up. I have a question. Do the flagpoles get annoying at Glastonbury, or do they just become part of the whole scene? Because it looks like it gets nuts there with them sometimes. So
yeah, but no, they don't. It depends where you are. If you're like kind of like centre mid, unless there's some really annoying person who's got like a huge, like, I don't know, 50-foot flag right in front of you, and they've not got a decent pole, then yeah, it's going to get annoying. But most of them, they're quite high, and they're quite humorous as well.
Yeah,
there's always some decent flags.
That's good. I think it's a great tradition, as long as, I mean, there's not a lot of bands I really need to see, but you still want to see them, right? Like it's just the point. I don't really need to see Gene Simmons, but I want to be able to see Gene Simmons. Well, I don't anymore, but anyway. So
yeah, I think Glastonbury, because you can it's obviously because it's a festival, you can kind of go in and out of a crowd quite easily.
I suppose
if there's a flag in your way, you can just move. It's
move over.
pretty easy going.
Exactly. Perfect. Good.
It's
Yeah,
nice.
I've never done festivals, if I'm being honest. I'd
No.
rather watch it from my house drinking a whiskey and just keeping warm, and not
It's
getting muddy.
easier.
But I can see the
It's
whole
easier to clean that.
it. It's yeah, it's it looks good on TV, and I can imagine kind of because I got a Dolby Atmos like kind of setup here, and you can hear the crowd, but it's not the same as watching a band live. It's kind of yeah.
Yeah.
I always say one day, and then I'm 42 now, and I'm going, yeah, it's not gonna fucking happen, is it?
Yeah.
I can't stand in a queue.
So you're
for
60, dude.
10 minutes.
There's got to be someone that would get you to go. Who? That's a question for later, maybe, of the bands we want to see. So
Ooh, there you go.
yeah.
Right. My turn. Okay. I will carry on going with the bands I've seen, and then I'm going to go into how I missed a band because I thought there may be tickets and there wasn't after. So
Ooh.
last year, the year before, watched this guy live. It's Mr. Billy Joel. So John, Music Talk with John, if you're watching.
Yeah, that's right.
There you
Yeah.
go. Billy Joel, absolutely amazing live. He was in the Prince Party Stadium in Cardiff. His kids come on the stage. One of his daughters was swinging her legs on the piano, dangling her legs, singing along to Piano Man. It was it was great. But me and Liz went to watch it. Yeah, actually, we only paid £65 a ticket, which is amazing these days.
That's
Mhm.
pretty good. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Very good.
So there's Billy Joel. Somebody covered this earlier on. I've seen the White Stripes. I think it was I saw him in London, I believe, Brixton, when they first come out. Absolutely fantastic. I prefer the White Stripes to him on his own, if I'm being honest. I prefer the kind of the guitar riffs and the rest of it with him. So there's that one. And 2 years ago, because he wasn't coming to pretty much where I live. I think he was doing Edinburgh, Ireland, and the O2. And it's my favourite artist of all time. It's Mr. John Mayer. Got into John back 2007. Love his music. He did an acoustic set, just him, no band. He played all instruments, played the piano while riffing on a guitar.
Nice.
So yeah, Mr. John Mayer, and then an artist that I thought I could get tickets for, and I didn't after, and it kills me to this day. It's freaking Bruce Springsteen.
Oh.
Oh,
Ouch.
So yeah, Liz said, "Oh, we'll go again." I'm like, "He's fucking 90." It's like, he's gonna come again. It's like, But if he ever does, or I'm nearby, then I've got to go to this. And the one in Cardiff, he was on there for 3.5 hours. So
The saving grace for what it's worth is, although he runs around a lot less, the show is about the same, I think, as it was. It like the same types of shows. There's still 3:15, 3:30. Like when I saw him, it was 3.5 hours. It's all the songs. It's everything. He's not quite as crazy running around, but you still get a Bruce Springsteen in the E Street Band show. You just get a little bit more subdued version of that, and more of a catalog to hear than you would have in the 80s or the 70s. So
Can I give a little rub on John Mayer?
sure.
I got paid to see him.
yeah.
True story.
I have to ask the question, how?
Before I got into the glamorous life of truck driving, I did sound and lights, and he was playing the Michigan Theater in Ann Arbor, Michigan. But before that gig, earlier in the day, he was playing at the time, I think it was called Borders Books. He did a little in-store performance, him and his bass player in between two bookshelves, and I had to run the sound.
Yeah. Cool.
This is on his first tour.
Right.
So
That's good.
I mean, I met the guy, nice guy, but yeah, I got paid to see John Mayer.
Paid to see him. That's good.
Nice.
That should happen more often. These artists should be paying us, goddammit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. dynamic pricing too. I've
Yeah.
listened to you for 30 years. Here's
Don't
what
get
it
him
is.
started.
I've only listened to you for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. It's dynamic pricing.
Wait,
Damn.
wait. Plus service charges.
Oh yeah, of course we have to have service charges. Yeah.
Did they pay for the parking, Trevor?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh well.
All right.
So yeah, with the John Mayer one, me and Liz travelled to Ireland on that day. The flight got delayed. We flew into Dublin. Took us an hour from Dublin to get to the Three. It's a mobile phone company in Britain. Three. It's called the Arena in Dublin. Took us about ages to get there. We got in there. We checked into the hotel, and literally we're walking out within 10 minutes and going straight into the gig. And then he came on. I was like,
Oh, perfect.
Wow.
exhausted. Just flew. Fucking took us all day. But yeah, cool. Sorry, mate. Go on.
That's
I
all
love
right.
being I love being in the top box because if you put your head in the right spot, it looks like you got the StreamYard duck for a head. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but you guys
I gotta
can see that. I don't know
remember
if
that.
anybody else can. Anyway,
Yeah.
So to go along with Joe showing off Somewhere Between Heaven and Hell, the Social Distortion album, saw them on that tour,
Yep.
and they were opening for
Those guys.
the Ramones.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah,
wow.
right. I forgot you've seen the Ramones. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just the one time I saw them. It was a year after this album came out. They were on the Mondo Bizarro tour.
Yeah.
And so seeing both Social Distortion, in my personal opinion, at their peak, and then seeing the Ramones kind of almost they were very towards the end, but still a great show nonetheless.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know the Ramones, no frills when they play live. It's just, and 1, 2, 3, 4, next song, 1, 2, 3, 4, next song, very little banter, you're not going to get a diatribe out of Joey Ramone.
No.
But yeah, classic, as a lot of people say or think, Ramones were kind of, ground zero of the punk movement. So yeah, glad to see them. I was back in, I can tell you the exact date. It was October 26, 1992. So
Wow.
I
that
still
would-
have a t-shirt from that show too.
Yeah. So that would have been like White Heat, White Trash, or maybe a little. That would have been out already for Social Distortion, I think.
No.
Right? At that point, no.
No, it was the album you showed, the Somewhere Between Heaven and Hell.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I saw you on with Emma live a while ago, and you mentioned the Ramones. So I've been waiting to ask you that. So I'm glad that you brought that up because I'd forgot till you mentioned that you had seen them. So
Yeah, I mean, it was just a blur. And this set on this album, pretty much with the exception of like 1 or 2 songs from Mondo Mazzaro, pretty much the same set.
yeah, nice. That's awesome. That's good.
So I highly recommend if you can find, this is the Record Store Day thing. I'm sure it's probably readily available, but I highly recommend this live album. It's fantastic.
Trevor, I picked up last Record Store Day the Ramones' greatest hits on red vinyl. I think it was the 50th anniversary kind of release of that. So, yeah, me and Richard talked on Friday on his live stream, and I was like, look how many tracks are on. And he's like, mate, they only last for like a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
Tracks.
3, 4. Yeah, yeah. The 2 bands that can count to 4 the most are Bruce Springsteen and the Ramones. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because he does
Right.
that all the time too. So yeah,
That's cool, though, Trev. Very, 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 very cool. Very
yeah, that's great.
Right, let me just get through the chat real quick. Morden. 2 Swedish folk girls mixed with 3 Jewish California rockers. I think she's on about Heim earlier on.
Yeah.
That was that. Yeah,
Yeah, you got to add a little back throat to it.
Heim.
yeah.
And Boz is saying, I wish I could have seen Billy Joel live. Amazing performer. He was, yes. And then obviously I showed Boston.
Boston,
Boston,
all right.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, he's on form today. Okay. Let's have a quick gander here. So we are going to go to Do Not Freeze on Me, you son of a bitch.
There we go. Who are you talking? Who were you talking about, Trevor? What?
Not sorry.
What about
Yeah, I just saw Trevor's face and I was like, oh shit. I need to go to Richard.
Okay, I'm going to go to biblical experiences in concerts.
Oh, so
Perfect.
So I was a massive fan of this band before I finally saw them. And I saw them I've seen them many, many, many times. But two tours that were absolutely epic in scale. And the first one was the most emotional tour I've ever seen a concert ever.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay.
Very nice.
So 1987, I saw Joshua Tree in St. Paul, Minnesota, which is Twin City to Minneapolis, St. Paul. They were playing on the other side of the river. And this was a biblical experience of epic proportions, because at the time this came out, this was like huge album for me. And I was just like, oh my God, I love every song on here. I know every lyric, every song. And we got tickets to go see U2. Holy shit. Had to drive 5.5 hours to get there. So it was an overnighter. But still, we saw U2. We had, it was not in the round, but they were selling seats everywhere in the entire arena, including behind the stage. Well, we got tickets behind the stage. We were kind of going, oh, this is going to suck. We were closer to the stage than most of the rest of the arena. So it was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that image on stage, holy crap. And I remember vividly, it was just like the lighting for like the first half of the show with that sort of stark black and white. And then they did Bullet the Blue Sky, and the color explosion was just phenomenal. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. So yeah, epically huge. But then you turn around and this album comes out, and the whole Zoo TV experience. And anyone who saw the Zoo TV tour knows that was like the biggest thing in the history of concert setups. It was trucks and trucks and trucks and trucks of equipment, and they had lighting on top of the rigging for low-flying aircraft. It was so huge. Video screens everywhere. It was phenomenal. So yeah, that was two biblical shows of just epic proportions that I am so glad I was able to experience. But saying that, I've seen U2, Joshua Tree, Achtung Baby, almost every tour since, including their last big one, which was the 360 tour, and I saw that one too. And Denver's own The Fray opened for that one, and I was not impressed.
No, that's no good.
I was like, oh, The Fray, it's that bald-headed guy. No.
I love The Fray. I love The Fray. I think they're brilliant. I love them.
They're okay. They just sound like every other freaking band in the world. And it's like,
Yeah.
It probably means more to me.
Some creativity, please. Oh, but the other thing for the Zoo TV thing, the two bands that opened, Sugar Cubes with Bjork, and for some reason, Public Enemy.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
That'd be good. That'd be
They're all
awesome.
like, what? Public
Yeah.
Enemy and you too? What the F? It was
But-
very strange, but it worked.
But that was the 90s. The
I
90s.
know.
I remember the 90s having just weird pairings of bands. Speaking of Public Enemy, I don't know if it came through nationally, but I know in Detroit, and Richard, you'll get a laugh out of this one. Public Enemy and Sisters of Mercy. Go figure
What?
those two out.
Wow. And then did they put like a line down the middle of the arena, and this was the Public Enemy?
No,
Would've been an
it
interesting
it was at an outdoor theater that was right on the Detroit River that I never went to, but that would have been just weird to see those two crowds mixing together. But the thing is, though, I love Public Enemy. I love Sisters of Mercy. It would have been
It was
awesome.
perfect for you.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, exactly.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
That should have been one. That should have been like a required thing. A show you saw where you wanted to see like any of the openers and the headline act. That doesn't happen very
No.
I've had a few experiences.
Cool.
That's cool. That's good.
Right. I'm going to make Joe a human being instead of being a duck for the last 10 minutes.
No, I want to be the duck.
I want to be a duck. Okay.
If you get your Richard now, see if you get your head in the right place, you can. Yeah, you just.
No, you got two heads.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Richard, you got a duck on your shoulder. What the hell's going on? U2 is unbelievable. I mean, it took me forever to see him because it was a couple years ago, but I did see him, and yeah, just a fantastic show. And I get the religious experience, especially after waiting for so long. So there's some advantages to that, a little bit, as long as they're still good. I mean, I would have loved to have seen them at Red Rocks as an example back in the day, right? But so it's nice because you do get the entire career, plus the Sphere helped a little bit. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Sphere, I forgot that.
Yeah, I'm going way back to the very first album by a man by the name of Reginald Dwight. So this is even before the one I think that we all know kind of as his first album. This came out a couple of years ago. They brought this out, but this is Regimental Sergeant Zippo from Elton John. So this is forever ago. And it's not so much the album. It just happened to be the easiest one to pick because it was up on the shelf there. But a phenomenal show. It's one of those, and again, back to what I just kind of said about seeing bands a little later in their career. I didn't get a chance because Elton had never played anywhere in Saskatchewan before. But his husband, David, I believe, has parents in Saskatoon. So the first time he played was, I don't know, that's probably 15 years ago now. But it's one of those shows where you know every single note to every single song. It's performed well, and then he does them all, right? It's not like he goes, here's an hour and a half, and there's going to be a whole bunch. He still played 3 hours. And the very first time that Joanne and I saw him, and she's a massive fan. I'm a big fan. It's kind of between him and David Bowie for her. But the first time we saw him, it was just piano tour, which was unbelievable. I mean, you'd think, it's kind of like seeing certain people where it's just an acoustic on the guitar tour. It was just Elton and the grand piano. He was out in the middle of the stage, and it was unbelievable. We've seen him 4 other times with the full band with Nigel and everybody else, and it's been fantastic. But it was something just a little bit pretty cool to just see him and his piano. And again, 3 hours, played the songs that you want to hear and then some. And it was just unbelievable. And he just puts on a really, really good show. He keeps saying he's going to stop performing, keeps saying he's going to stop doing stuff, and then he keeps doing stuff. But that's okay. I don't begrudge him that. Again, being a Kiss fan, Kiss did their frickin' goodbye tour in 1999. I had the T-shirt. And then I saw them 2 years ago on their farewell tour. It's probably their farewell tour. But so, yeah, I don't begrudge anybody where they say, okay, we're done. Screw it. We're going to come back. Except Motley Crue. Motley Crue should not be charging anybody anymore for seeing them live. But that's a shit show. And they're good. They've been good. And I've seen them and they've been good, but not anymore. So, but yeah, Elton was very, very good. Again, both with the band and without the band. And real quick, just because you mentioned him, I'll get him out of the way of one of the guys that I would have liked to have seen. And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see him anymore because he's having some issues, and hopefully he's going to be okay. And hopefully he can still do a little bit, because I would love to see Billy Joel. He's still on my list, but what would have been unbelievable. And I don't know if any of you guys saw the tour, the Dueling Pianos tour between Billy and Elton, but that would have just been, I think that would have just been unbelievably fantastic. I never had a chance to see it because I just said I never saw Billy Joel, but that would have been unbelievable to see those two performers at their craft, and some of the best at their craft, both songwriting, piano playing, the whole 9 yards, performing the whole bit. Would have been a pretty unbelievable show. I don't know, Richard, did you maybe see any of that with those two?
Yeah, I didn't, but my sister took my mother, and that tour of all places came to Fargo, North Dakota. And my
really?
Sister,
Yeah.
And they saw that. Oh, it was so good.
At the Fargo Dome, I think,
Yep,
right?
Fargo Dome.
Fargo Dome has put on some pretty decent shows. it's because it's not a bad little I haven't been, I've seen it. It's not a bad little venue, and it's
No.
and it's kind of, if we're gonna play that part of the world, that's where they play. So that's cool.
Sure.
That would have been good. Yeah.
And now it's become a good stepping stone from going from like Winnipeg to Minneapolis. You just do
Yeah.
another show, and
Just let's go here and then we'll go over there. Yeah, for sure. That's good. So
I just want to ask a quick question on this one, because you two have done the Sphere, right?
Yeah.
Which looked amazing.
yeah.
The Grateful Dead have just done the Sphere.
Yeah.
Do you think the Kiss and Elton would consider doing the Sphere just
I don't-
for?
I don't
Not
think
just-
so. I don't think so anymore. I mean, obviously, Kiss, just with all the stuff, would have been. They had their big part was the pyro. I mean, they had
Yeah.
visual, but a big part of that, and I don't think you'd be able to pull that off in there. I don't think they'd want you to pull that off in there. So, and yeah, I mean, if they gave Gene enough money, I'm sure Gene would go and play it.
I mean, they're already doing the Vegas. Like they're basically taking their Kiss cruise
Right?
and just placing it in Vegas,
Okay.
Yeah.
and it's not at the Sphere.
No, that's right. So, but I could see Elton. Elton would probably fit in there, but again, I think he's kind of done. I say he's doing stuff. He's doing one-offs and things like that. There are a lot of really good bands that can play that venue, and it's starting to get a little bit of variety in there, right? Zach Brown band's in there. Eagles have been in there. Fish, the Dead, you said. The Backstreet Boys, and I'm not a Backstreet Boys or a boy band fan at all, but you
Right.
see some of the footage, and they are a band that will draw a bunch of people to them to go and see them in Vegas, right? They're, I mean, they've got that following, and they've got enough visuals that they can put up there. So
sure.
But-
Plus, have you seen any of the Wizard of Oz?
yeah, the Wizard of Oz looks unbelievable, doesn't it?
Insane.
Like
I
apples
mean-
falling from and stuff.
Well, the thing is, and someone brought up, like, because the tickets for that Wizard of Oz movie is $100.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, someone put it in really good perspective of like, because you're gonna think, oh, $100 for a movie is just like, yeah, we're in Vegas. You could lose $100 100 feet away from here.
Exactly.
4
Yeah.
And
minutes.
not get nothing out of it.
No, that's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, if I was there and I'd go see that for sure. I'd go see that. And yeah, $100 anymore for a couple hours of entertainment is cheap, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So,
Because even Anthony and I, we were trying to, because there's a heavy rumor, Metallica playing next fall at the Sphere.
Yeah.
And we were
Yeah.
talking like we're probably gonna bring our families because it's Vegas. So
Yeah.
Vegas is no longer the notorious land that it used to be. It's now family and expensive. It used to be cheap,
Yeah,
to go there. And,
Yeah, they're shooting themselves in the foot, and then they're shooting at buildings literally down there as well lately. But that venue is unbelievable, guys. You've heard me, and I'm not going to go on about it. But for anybody that sees this that is not familiar with the Sphere, if you get a chance to go, and they're supposed to put one in London, I believe they talked about it, right? So,
well, there's one in Dubai, already.
Yeah.
But I think London is next on.
yeah,
on track.
it is the future of a venue for sure. So the bands, unfortunately, they're just going to go. They're going to play residencies there, and you're going to have to go see them. But that's okay. It's unbelievable if you get a chance to go. Chris, when you come over, you got to go to Vegas, and you got to go to the Sphere.
Yeah, the next artist I'm going to show you is the Zach Brown band, but I'd love to see, because they're in January, right? And I'd love to see Zach Brown in the Sphere. Me and Liz have talked about it. I don't think it's going to happen because I'm doing the meetup next year, and I'm coming to Canada as well.
Right.
So to do 2 trips to America is just
Right.
It's not going to work.
Yeah,
They do London O2 Arena. They do like a country show. So you got like Luke Combs comes over, Zach Brown band, Zach Bryan. There's a few that come over once every couple of years. So I may try and do a trip to London, me and Liz, for the weekend and go and watch Zach Brown, because I've started from the beginning. I love Zach Brown. It made me forget chicken fried. That kind of stuff, but the other stuff like Highway 20, and the rest of it is I love them, absolutely love them. But
Yeah, I've
no
got
means-
Jekyll and Hyde, and that's such a fantastic album.
Yeah,
So
it's brilliant. Right.
I digress, and I'm taking up Cam's time. Sorry, Cam.
Yeah.
No, it's all right. No, I was enjoying that. I was enjoying that. I need to make it out there to see the Sphere because it just looks incredible.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
love to.
It is. Yeah.
I'm trying to think where they could put that in London though.
I
Because
was
it's
just
really-
I was like, where the hell are they going to put that? Just get rid of the O2 and just build it there.
Blow up.
No,
the O2.
Yeah.
Or that, or
Yeah.
just tear down Windsor Castle, put it there. Fuck it.
They don't
That's
need
it. Yeah, just get rid of it.
that many castles, do they? Yeah.
We've got enough. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
So the next band I'm gonna pick is another US band, and I'm just looking at like 4 out of my 5 picks are from the US. So there we go. I don't know if these guys are that big over the pond, but they are bigger over
I
here.
just bought their new one. I love it.
Hmm.
It's amazing. I love this
Yeah.
album, and I love the
They're
new one. I love the new one as well. It's
Yeah.
great. I love it. But yeah, I've seen these guys twice now over here, and once was in a small bar in Bristol, and then the second time was in a bit of more of a club in Bristol. But yeah, they're just incredible. You can tell they're kind of big, like 80s fans on their
Yeah.
music, and sound a lot like this T-shirt. They sound like a lot like New Order for me, and I love New Order, so I'm going to gravitate towards them. But yeah, they're just a 3-piece for people who don't know them. Husband and wife led band, very synthy, and live. It's just the 3 of them on stage with a drum machine, 2 synths, bass, and a guitar occasionally. But yeah, I just love the tracks on this. It's really accessible, kind of 80s sounding synth, new romantics kind of style music, I think. And I think more people should know about them. So yeah, I wanted to kind of.
I agree.
I've just written it down on my notes on my phone as a list because I'm
There you
adding.
go. There you
Oh,
go.
no.
I got one. There you go. So yeah, Nation Language, great live band as well. Yeah, actually, the first time I saw them, obviously the I can't remember the lady's name in the band, but she had a massive Moog synth, and the power went out in the bar I was in, and they're pretty sure it's the Moog that actually shut it all off.
Just
I'm
shut it
surprised.
down. eh? Yeah.
Yeah, and it was halfway through a song, annoyingly. So I was there to restart. So I know we talked about Adele, wanting to restart, but they did it as well, and it was quite a cool little moment that it went black, and everyone's like, "Oh, what's going on here?" sort of thing, and yeah, just amazing. So there you go, Nation and Language.
Cool.
Okay.
I fell in love with them. I heard I streamed the Strange Disciple album, and I was just floored. I was just going, this sounds like OMD and Depeche Mode got together and said, let's do a supergroup. And the synth lines, especially on the whole Strange Disciple album, are huge sounding, and they shake. I mean, I have a subwoofer in my living room, so it's like the house is like, whoa, it's amazing. But yeah, I just picked up their new album. It's not to me, it's not as good as Strange Disciple, but there's some things that work for me. But yeah, they're a good band.
Cam, just a quick one on them. Now, I know you showed that album, and that's obviously the first album, yeah? That they brought out. Is that correct? Okay. Would you start there? Would you start there with them?
No, I would start with Strange Disciple, actually. Like Richard was saying, I think that's a really good intro album. And then I would go back to the debut and work from there. But yeah, I'd say that's my favourite record by them. Oh, there you go. Yeah. But yeah, some bangers. And I really like the comparison to OMD, actually. Because the singer.
They have a very OMD,
like
that sort of frostiness, but the huge Moog synthesizers, I'm just like, it sounds like early Gary Newman, where it was just synth heavy and it weighs a lot, and it just sounds so amazing. I love their music.
See, I had a feeling that Rich and Cam would get on really well on this live stream, and I was correct.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll be definitely checking those guys out. I just looked it up on Apple, and so Yeah,
Good.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, the album you've shown, it was like 45 minutes long, perfect length.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's a banger. It's a banger.
cool.
Right.
Look who's in the comment section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on.
There he is. Hello,
Hey,
Rob.
Rob.
Rob. Who's this guy?
I don't know.
Uh,
Total loser.
Right. Okay. I'm just looking at. Hey, Trevor. Right. Okay. I'm looking at the time here, so I'm just going to show you what I've got left, and then it's up to you guys. Then, kind of.
all good.
What you want to do. Okay.
Sure.
Oh, come on, you son of a bitch. Right. Okay.
Oh,
Calm
what
down.
do
I
you
was talking towards you. This keeps freezing on us. It's a pain in the ass. What the hell was that?
That's
That's
my
Trevor.
Caroline doorbell. I'll mute it.
Yeah.
Shit, I thought that was my ex then. Right. Okay. So,
Very nice.
Zach Brown Band. Like I said, a band I really want to see live and have done for such a long time. First song I ever heard of them was on Apple Music. Was Chicken Fried. I was like, what the hell is this? I couldn't stop listening to it. And then I went on Apple Music and I streamed it a bit. I was like, these guys, why have I never heard of them? Like, it's right up my alley. I'm not a massive country. Well, we'll soon find out because there's more country coming. But I'm not a massive into country. But as the years have gone on now, I'm becoming more into country, more chilled out kind of music. Like back in the day, I used to listen to Rammstein. You know,
Country's
I
morphed
saw
a lot.
Rammstein.
Yeah.
You know, I was into Slipknot. I was into Rammstein. You know, I was into so many heavy metal bands. But as I'm getting older now, I'm a bit more chilled out, and I tend to suffer with migraines a lot, probably because I drink too much. But you know, whatever. But Zach Brown Band,
Nice.
love to see him live. Shut up, Rich.
Is that one a gatefold? I wonder if the artwork continues on the inside, or is that just a single?
No, it's just a single.
No? I like the
This is-
artwork on the front.
This is on a brown see-through. It doesn't really show on you, but it's kind of like a brown color on this
Nice.
one. And I'm running out of space here because I've got so many freaking records. Another artist I would love to see live, but doing this album, not his earlier stuff, is Mr. Post Malone with his country stuff that he's got at the moment. I love him. I remember I think Rich, did we talk about this the other day? I can't fucking remember. But it was on my live stream last week. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I said on his last album that he was going to go country because he sounded like he was singing more in those albums, the last album, this one. I will show the inside because we know it's more. It literally is showing how they created that.
Very nice.
So, yeah. Comes on white vinyl. So.
The cover looks like it's done by Hypnosis. Like it looks like.
It does.
Well,
It
I was
does.
gonna say, but if it was Hypnosis and it's a country album, it'd be called "Wish You Were Beer."
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm just double checking you for a.
How come
country
nobody's
album.
made that? Nobody's done that as an album, have they? Like I know you said it jokingly, but has someone got an album called "Wish You Were Beer"?
I'm sure. there
Probably.
is.
I would hope so. If not, we're gonna form a band, and that's gonna be the name of our first album.
Yes.
There you go.
Root beer.
I don't know if you can class this as a country album though, because there's no title tracks with whiskey in it.
Yeah.
So
But it's got a truck on the cover, so you have to count it as a country album.
Well, there's I saw something with drink on there, so
Yeah.
he done songs with Tim McGraw, Morgan Wallen, Blake Shelton, Dolly Parton, Brad Paisley, Luke Combs, Jerry Roll. What's he got? Luke Combs again. Chris Stapleton. That's another one I forgot to bring up tonight. I'd love to see him live. I think it'd be brilliant. I know,
Yeah.
Joe. Joe, have you seen him live?
I did. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Once it was very good. Yes.
Billy Strings is on here as well. So, yeah, brilliant.
He's got
But I also-
some friends in low places there. That's for sure. Those.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I think this was planned a long time ago. I think he wanted to get out of the rap pop kind of music and go into more of a country pop kind of theme. And then on the flip side, completely, I am going to get the album that you recommended a few months ago. I just haven't found a good price on it yet, so I'm still waiting. It's Green Day. Love to see them live.
Yeah.
Never got a chance really because every time I wanted to see them, I had something else on, or I was watching another gig, or something else was happening. So, but if they ever come back to Cardiff, I'm gonna. There's talk of them coming to the Principality Stadium next year, so
Good.
hopefully I can get tickets for that one. And I have streamed the new album, Joe. It sounds like older Green Day. Back
Yeah,
to what
I think so. I
loved
like it.
doing.
Yeah, and I think they've got some touring life left in them, so I think they'll be okay. It's not like I don't think they're near the end of calling it quits by any means. So you should get another chance. I would think anyway. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
I'd love to see them live and all the bands that I've shown tonight. So those are my choices for this evening. So
very nice.
there was a lot more I could pick, but I was thinking, how the hell are we going to do this in 2 hours? So
yeah.
This will be part one.
Well, it might be. Right. Okay. Why is this not working? Come on, Trevor.
All right. I'll follow your cue and I'll do the one I have seen and then I'll rip through the ones I want to see. Same venue, not the bookstore, but the theater across the street, that the John Mayer story I told. But my first time going there, Michigan Theater in Ann Arbor, Michigan. This is just a weird band. The first time I heard them, it was on a mixtape that my friend played for me or made for me. A song called Farmers, which is basically nursery rhymes done almost horrifically. It was broad daylight. I'm driving around in broad daylight and I'm scared out of my wits. And which made me fall in love with this band. And they're like one of those anonymous bands, even though some of us in the know who a couple of them are. But the band is called The Residents. Kind of avant-garde at one point, especially in the 70s. Just very strange group. I saw them on this tour, Icky Flicks, which refers to, it was weird. They weren't touring an album. They were touring a DVD of all their videos. And these are re-recordings of the songs of those videos. And they did it in perfect time. So this is in the early days of DVDs where you could watch the video, but you could choose which track to play. So you can play the original track or the new track on there. So they would have a video screen behind them showing the video and they would play live over it, which I'm guessing they had, click track with it so they could keep it in sync. So, and I saw them one other time after this, but just an incredible show to the point where I was like obsessed with these guys for about 2 years and just bought a ton of stuff of theirs. So Residents. And then the stuff I want to see that are still around. This would be a tough sell because I highly doubt they'll ever come to the States. And if they do, it'd probably be like Milwaukee Metal Fest or something like that. Do like a one-off in the States. But the band is Angel Witch. New wave of British heavy metal. This is, I think, from 1980, 81. I always knew of the band. The guys in the early thrash scene would toss this name around. And then when I finally got this album, I'm like, wow, they sound like, even though the visually you would think they would sound like Venom or something, but they really sound like early Def Leppard.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
All right.
So, yeah, really cool stuff. So Angel Witch, the true version of this band would never tour, but Max Cavalera, who's part of this from Sepultura, his cohort in this project is not part of this. His son is kind of taking the place of Alex Newport of Fudge Tunnel, but the band is called Nailbomb. This is from 1994. This is kind of like metallic industrial type stuff. Actually, the first time I heard one of their songs called Religious Cancer, I actually heard in a goth industrial club, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, great album, very heavy, very metallic, but also very mechanic too. So Nailbomb, a U.S. band that for some reason they just hate the Pacific Northwest and they never come around here. I did see them once, but with a different singer, not their main singer, and that singer's back. But this is their debut here from '93, and a band called Life of Agony. They were part of the kind of New York hardcore scene, but a bit more melodic, a bit more metal. But yeah, really good stuff here. They're kind of celebrating their second album called Ugly, and on that album they do a really, really cool cover of Don't You Forget About Me from Simple Minds. But yeah, cool. Life of Agony is cool. And let's see. Oh, and then the last one I've never seen, band from Liverpool that are not the Beatles.
I was just about to ask.
I probably had opportunities to see them, but just the schedules just never aligned. And the band is called Carcass. This is probably my favorite death metal band next to Cannibal Corpse. Really cool stuff. Their early stuff is more grindcore, which is hard to listen to. This is when they got a bit more, I know it sounds weird to say melodic when we're talking death metal, but yeah, it's just really some cool stuff here. Never got to see them. Thankfully, they're still around. So hopefully someday I might be able to see them. So Carcass. There you go.
Cool.
I just absolutely love that genre called death metal. It's kind of, every time I hear it, it just makes me chuckle a bit. I'm like, oh, but death metal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How can we take metal up a notch? Oh, let's call it death metal.
No, it's down a notch.
Down a notch.
That's
Well, yeah, that's true. That's fair. Yeah.
6 feet under a notch.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I'm having a hard time imagining what a Cannibal Corpse concert would be like. It must be
It's great. It's great.
Their album covers, holy.
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about that on Wednesday, didn't we? A little bit.
I'm going to spin this a little bit because I want to talk about a lot of shows I've been to. Some are like, they're gone. You're never going to see them again. They've either broken up or passed on or whatever. Others are bands that are important to me that I traveled like all the way to England to go see. Yeah. So we got a pile. It's a little bit of everything. Yes, I saw David Bowie. Here in Denver at the Fillmore, 4,000 seater. Look at tickets were $66. I'm like, sure, I'll pay that. Because Bowie. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So I'm glad I saw Bowie, and I'm glad I saw Bowie in a small venue because it was intimate. It did greatest hits. It was amazing. Same venue, I also saw REM before they called it quits. And those tickets, $55. I think it was the same year. 2004. Yeah, 2004. About 10 months apart. So it's on them.
Will never do it, but they need a reunion tour. Just play a few. But
all around.
They're around. Yeah, just do it. Yeah, exactly.
I am so glad I saw The Prodigy because it was one of the most dynamic concert experiences, and I saw them on this tour, Fat of the Land. The whole place was like this the entire time. Yes, it was absolutely bonkers, and I'm glad I saw it because I think we've lost a couple of theirs in their band.
Yeah, Flint. Yeah, we lost. Yeah.
Tina Turner, saw her on this album tour. This is 24/7. And Lionel Richie opened, but we were stuck in traffic. Oh, I didn't get to see Lionel Richie. I'm so sad. But Tina puts on, even then, this was late 90s, maybe even early 2000, put on an amazing show. I have seen this lady 3 times, Madonna. I saw Madonna on that tour, this tour, and the Magic tour, or music tour, rather. I love music. Would I go see Madonna again? Probably not. But I'm glad I did. And in her heyday, she was amazing. Ray of Light is a fantastic album. Final answer. I've seen Bette Midler a couple of times. And you want to talk about somebody who puts on a fun show? And one time I was in the front row. That was magic. I've seen this diva 3 times. Cher on the Believe tour twice, and then on her album follow-up after that between DC and here. Now, these bands might have seen them in the United States, but I specifically flew to England to not just do my London tourism thing, because I did that like 6 years almost in a row. A band out of Manchester called The Music. Absolutely love them. Love this album. It's impossible to find on vinyl. They need to reissue it. Saw them at the Hammersmith Palais in 2003 and saw them Lollapalooza. I think they played the same year that I saw Queens of the Stone Age.
You try and Google that name.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
It's hard enough to find on Discogs, to tell you.
Yeah.
I saw Feeder for the first time on the Pushing the Senses tour. Saw them at the Brixton Academy. What year was that? Of course, now it's stuck.
How many times have you seen Feeder, Rich?
2. So I saw them on this tour in 2005, and then I saw them. They were not a side stage, but on the main stage of Reading 2004, I think.
Okay.
I can't remember. Now, Chris knows one of my favorite bands from Scotland. I
was actually listening to a new album this week. It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Biffy Clyro.
Yeah.
Saw them on the day the Infinity Land album dropped. I saw them at Cambridge Junction. And then they came to the United States and played literally a bar with a side stage that holds about 50 people. Met the band. They signed stuff. I have drumsticks, set lists, all that cool crap. So, yeah. Is that my CD pile? I think so. So that's all of them. So bands I'm like stoked to have seen, because they hardly ever tour, if ever. And, artists that are no longer with us.
The Feeder one, and especially Biffy. I always thought Biffy were going to make it big in America. I don't know, because when they first came out, Bubbles and like all the rest of it, like what an album. I've got the album. I've never seen Biffy live. I'd love to see them live. And they always come to Cardiff.
And they're insane live.
Yeah.
They're a 3-piece. They have Mike Bernard comes on to support with guitars, and then they have a keyboardist that supports, just because their sound is so big. What they do in the studio, they almost can't replicate on stage.
Yeah.
So they have to bring in help. Mike Bernard, by the way, is the new lead singer for the Cardiacs. We're putting out an album. I think it actually dropped last week. So Cardiacs are making a comeback with somebody I actually know, and I'm like, that's cool. So yeah, that's what's going on in my world. I have other things, but maybe if we do a part 2, I could do those too.
Yeah. Cam's probably heard of Biffy Clyro, definitely, but Trevor and Joe, you need to check out the album Only Revolutions by Biffy Clyro. That is an amazing album. Like, it's got their hits on that one, like Bubbles, Mountains, Man of Honor. It's amazing. Check them out on YouTube. I think you'll really dig them.
Yeah, okay. I've got a young friend. Sorry, by the way, that my computer's dead. I'm not sure what the hell's going on. Computer per se. Yeah, I got a young buddy that is just all over them. He's just a massive fan. He has traveled to see. I think he saw them in Vancouver. I think he was lucky enough to see them there. I don't know if he had to go elsewhere, but because they've never been around. But yeah, my buddy Alex is a big fan of. So
Have you come across them in the record shop at all? Like Biffy Clyro, has it come across your way at all?
no, I think that's probably a band that, there's certain bands that are just tough to come across because those types of collections just don't come up unless someone passes away. I know that sounds horrible to say, but it is really there's a matter of, there are some collections and some artists and some genres that stuff just never gets given up, right? They just don't sell that. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm just wondering because they're massive in the UK and were since the beginning pretty much, and they tour a lot in the UK. So and I'm going to buy the new album, I think.
Yeah. I'm
Richard,
with. I haven't. I don't know why. I've probably listened to a little bit. I haven't listened to a lot, but I will make a point of listening to some. So.
Yeah, the album you need to listen to is Only Revolutions. That is an amazing album, and the new album, which is called Fatigue.
Very good.
Richard sent me a message the other day saying, "Oh, Biffy Clyro," and I put it on the car on Apple Music. And I was like, "This is bloody brilliant! They're back to what they sound like. It's brilliant." I just wish more people.
My biggest problem, I think, with bands like them is that if they do get exposure in the States and they're not successful the first time, it's like one strike and you're out. Yeah. They don't have, they're kind of signed under Warner Brothers in North America, but they're not even releasing this album in the States, the new one. I'm like, wait a minute, you're signed under Warner's. What the hell? So I think Opposites and Ellipsis came out in America, but they didn't sell. So they just kind of went, we're not promoting it.
Said never mind. Yeah, which is unfortunate. Sorry, I'm on my phone now. It's falling down. It's again, and it's not for a lack of. I don't think of them wanting to, but they just haven't ever gotten a foothold here anyway.
No.
So
it's just interesting that they're a band that is like does headline shows to stadiums, and they cannot get a foothold. Muse is bigger than Biffy Clyro, and I'm like, I can't stand Muse. I love Biffy Clyro.
Yeah. I prefer old Muse. I think the new Muse is more electronic, kind of. I don't know what the hell they're doing at the moment. So anyway. I feel a video coming up about that subject.
Video in your future. Yeah, there you go. Cool.
Okay.
Let's get Cam on.
Joe.
Or Joe.
Yeah. Apologies for the up the nose shot here, but it's just my phone that I've got to work with now. So all right, I'm gonna do this band first, which is the Runaways. I'm never gonna get a chance to necessarily see the Runaways. I have seen Joan Jett, but I want to see her again because it was a long, long time ago. She opened up for Robert Plant, which was fantastic, but she's always been one of my favorites, and I'd like to see her again. And then I was supposed to see Lita. Where's Lita? Right there, right? I think that's Lita. I was supposed to see her. She was supposed to open up for Alice Cooper. Then there was COVID. And then when he came back around, he had Buck Cherry, which sucked. Don't go see Buck Cherry anymore. They used to be good forever ago. Not so much anymore. But I want to see Joan one more time. So, but this is a great album, kind of a one-off from them, but good stuff. So, and then there's another band that have been around for a while. They tour a little bit still, not a whole bunch. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them or not, but they're a band called the Rolling Stones.
Who?
Who here has seen the Stones of everybody that's here?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Nope.
I haven't.
Yeah, they were in the Principality Stadium in Cardiff in front of 70,000. So it was,
yeah. It's just a good show, I mean, I saw them in 2006, so well into their career, and again, they are still touring a little bit, but there's certain bands that get they're just doing it for the money or whatever, and they certainly don't need that. They didn't need it back in 2006. They don't need it now. They're still putting out relevant music. I think, with this album. It's good. But they were fantastic. They were just great. Again, another band that played all of the hits and a couple of deeper cuts or whatever. And I saw them over 2 nights. I saw them on a Friday night, and they did do a little different on the Sunday night. They were here, and it was like, screw it, I'm going to go. How many opportunities am I going to have to see the Stones? So, we don't talk about the Rolling Stones a lot. I don't know why. I'm not sure. So, real quick, The Offspring is still very good.
Yes, yes.
Still getting her done, kind of. Dexter sounds okay, not great, but he sounds okay. I watched a video on YouTube last night. They actually had the Pretty Fly for a White Guy. They were playing in California or something, and the guy that was in the video came out and he danced around, and he was pretty fly for a white guy. But Noodles still is good. They're still a great live band. They do a great show. They put on a fantastic show. This supposedly the last tour for The Offspring, but they're very good. So that's the bands I've seen. And again, Jonah, I've seen, but I'd like to see one more time. We talked about these guys, and I have never seen these guys. And I would like to, you would think, being the pyromaniac that I am, I would have seen Rammstein along the line somewhere, but I have not. So hopefully I'm able to make that happen at some point. I think they're touring, and then he's out on his own with some other weird band or whatever, but hopefully I get a chance to see them.
And Rammstein, sorry, Joe, really quick. Rammstein, when
Yes.
I went to Rammstein back in 2003, we were one of the first ones to enter the building, and we had to sign disclaimers saying if the fireball hits you, you cannot sue us.
Yeah.
It was the most loudest concert I have ever been
loud.
to. Ever.
Yeah.
But they're so good.
Like, I mean, again, I've seen Kiss recently and Metallica recently and stuff like that, but they Kiss and Metallica are a bit lighter compared to seeing those guys from the minute that I've seen. Like the one stadium show over in Europe, they had all these towers in the middle and stuff is like 100 feet tall. Yeah. And they light the keyboard player on fire and they wander him around some cauldron and then they shoot fire out and fire comes shooting back. And I mean, and I like the music. It is very industrial. There's synth pop, actually, if you think about it. But anyway.
Yes, they are.
A little, not really, but a little bit. Yes. And then someone who I'd like to see, and I'm actually going to go and see, is Lady Gaga. I got tickets to Montreal in April of next year. And she's an artist. You guys know my thoughts on her, but for those that might be watching it that haven't heard me say it before, I've come around to her music, and I think that much like Alice, she's going to be very theatrical. I think it's going to have those elements to it, right? So I'm looking forward to the Mayhem Ball, and it's going to be a good show. So that's one that I have yet to see, but actually have tickets to go and see. So that's another category. We've seen them, we haven't seen them.
Yes.
Them.
You're gonna
regret not seeing them, and we have tickets to go see them. We could just, anyway.
Can you imagine Lady Gaga at the Sphere?
Yeah, she would.
Yeah, good.
Fit in well there for sure. So, and the other thing too is there is the massive visual aspect to the Sphere, and as you mentioned, Trevor, they're doing the Wizard of Oz movie there. Now they've added there's a twister that happens when the twister happens. And they've added different elements, and apples falling out of the ceiling and stuff. But the sound in there is unbelievable as well. It is crystal clear, even for an old bugger whose hearing sucks. It is unbelievable. So there's the visual, there's the sound. Really, it is again it's kind of the future venue that you're going to want to see shows at because it's just unbelievable. So, but yes, 100%. I think that, and they talk about it, and I'm sure at some point she'll get tired of taking it around and she'll do a residency there and play for 20, 30 nights at a pop, and people will go to Vegas and see her. So, yeah. So there you go.
The visual itself. Imagine like Bad Romance on the it'd be nuts.
Yeah, exactly. I think so. I agree. So she's obviously been very visual, and I've seen obviously some of this Mayhem Ball, like when she played Coachella and stuff. I usually don't like to watch stuff in advance, but I didn't know I was going to get a chance to go. So I've seen stage aspects and things like that, but I'm looking forward to it. I know she is a take it or leave it with some people, but I've come around to her. The music is good, and again, I think that the whole visual, the whole concert, the whole event is going to be pretty spectacular. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Plus, I get to go with my sweetie, and it's our anniversary, so there's that too, in the beautiful city of Montreal, Canada.
Well done, mate.
Yeah.
Right. Last stop. We're off to England.
Yeah.
Cam.
Oh, cool. I'll fly through mine then. So, speaking of bands who should play the Sphere, and the surprise has not happened because they are like a visual spectacle.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
I think will go down an absolute treat in the Sphere. I'm really surprised that Damon has not sorted that out yet. But yeah, these guys are, what can you say? Gorillaz just put on a fantastic show every time. There's just so much to see and feel and experience, and their catalogue's just incredible. One of the best live bands I've seen, and that's before you even get to like the guest collabs that they have come out on the stage with them at the time. It was great to see them live. I saw them at the O2 a few years back, and I might go next year as well for this new tour. Another band that's kind of like almost like a biblical experience for me, but LCD Sound System.
Yes.
Absolutely love them. They're probably the band I've seen the most live, I think. But yeah, incredible live band. You almost forget how many of them are on the stage at the time, but it's just like an absolute party every time you see them, and just incredible. So LCD Sound System. And then in terms of bands I need to see live, and luckily my need to see list is way shorter than my has seen list. New Order. I've never seen New Order.
I wish.
And I'm sure there's a bunch of people on here that have. I think you guys have probably all seen them, I'd imagine. I just love to. Well, it's kind of an asterisk, actually. I've seen Hooky on his most recent tour.
Yeah.
And that was amazing. He was great. He went for 3 hours and just played
nice.
through the whole of the Get Lucky album. Get Ready album. And then he did like a greatest hits, New Order and Joy Division set after that. And yeah, incredible. But I'd love to see them. Not that I don't think they would ever get back together as the original lineup. I think that bridge is gone.
They said that about Oasis.
True, yeah. And what's really weird is that Hooky and Barney live like not even a mile away from each other.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
they still
wild.
can't make it work. That's
Wow.
just crazy. They live in like the same hamlet in up in the north. But yeah, we'll see. This one is annoying because I tried for tickets this week for their UK tour, didn't get them, and the site just kept crashing every time I got through.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Radiohead. I'm sure it'd just be an incredible concert, and this is probably my favourite Radiohead record. Is In Rainbows? I loved it. Still do.
I think when it comes to British exports, I think we forget about Radiohead, how big they were and are in America, Canada.
Oh yeah.
They're so big, it's ridiculous. I remember going when I worked in America on the cruise ships, and my mate Brandon, she was like, "Oh," I said, "What are you listening to?" He said, "Radiohead." I'm like, "Radiohead? Where the hell did that come from?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, they're massive over here." I'm like, "What?"
Huge.
Is that as a creep though? Is that like I'm guessing
No,
that was
we're talking like they're going deep into the albums. Like Creep
Okay.
wasn't. Yeah, I couldn't get over
Kid
it.
A, all of them. Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. But quite rightly so. They're incredible.
Yeah.
It's an amazing band. Another one, a band called Wonder Horse. They're kind of newish, I guess. They've been around for a few years now. But yeah, this is their debut album called Cub. It's kind of like a more poppy Nirvana, I guess, if that can be a thing. Kind of alternative indie, I guess, is probably more accurate. But their most recent album, which is called Midas, is Kraken Records. That was recorded, I want to say, on the same console that In Utero was recorded, or in the same studio that In Utero was recorded on. But yeah, you can definitely hear it on the records. But yeah, Wonder Horse is a band I really want to see, and I've loved both their records, and I'm sure it'd be a really fun show to go see. And then my last two, Yusef Days, jazz artist, fantastic percussionist. This album I think was like everywhere a few years ago on a lot of like, best of the years lists, and I love this record. I'm really starting to, in the last few years, get into my jazz music, and this one just like knocked me for six. I love it. So Yusef Days, I'd love to see him live. And then last but not least, I told you I'd fly through these, but this will probably never happen now, but if I can get out the sleeve just so you guys can see it properly. Daft Punk, I don't think it's going to happen.
Oh, yes.
And it's criminal that it won't probably ever happen, because, they seldom played live anyway. They're kind of like the Beatles, I guess. They just, they knew they were amazing, and they hardly ever played live. And this is just one of the best live albums ever, I think, especially in modern times. It's incredible, and I'd love to see them live. They need to just fix whatever's gone wrong behind the scenes, because they never really said what really happened. But I'd love to see them. So there you go, Daft Punk. That's my last pick.
That's a good pick, actually. Good pick, Daft Punk. Yeah. Yeah, they just kind of just ended. It was kind of weird. They got some brilliant albums. It's like,
oh yeah, all of them. I think all of them are great. All the albums, like even Human After All, which was the one that people weren't really that hot on. I think that's a really great album still. It's still really progressive dance music, electronic music. So yeah, they need to sort it out.
some really good picks there, Cam. Well done, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I remember way back in the day when Daft Punk was first out, there was rumors that it was the guys from Air just with masks on.
Yeah. And you can hear that as well, like,
Well, it's at the time it made sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Cool.
They're a great band as well. Yeah.
Cool. Right. So just over 2 hours. Brilliant. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
We'll go around the horn real quick and kind of see what's going on with the channel and that kind of stuff. So Trevor, what's going on with you, mate?
I am known as the most inconsistent channel on YouTube, and I will continue that trend. I post stuff when I feel like it, and I'm going to keep it that way. But yeah, usually my friend Steve, A is for Alice, B is for Bob. Check out and subscribe. He and we do a live stream, but that's been kind of inconsistent too, just because life happens, So anyway, that's what's going on. And,
You dropped the video today. Was it today you dropped the video, I think?
It was last night. Yeah. To kind of go along with what Cam was talking about in his last video, he got the Rhino Hi-Fi and I got BCLT of,
Nice.
So, yeah. Speaking of Steve gave me this because he would much rather use this as a doorstop than a play. So he sent it to me.
That is a very good sounding copy of that. Although I guess that's the only one I've ever heard. So I don't know what the original sounded like, but those are
this isn't the Rhino. This is a 77 pressing.
Oh, well, there you go. I thought we were talking Rhino because I've got the Rhino and it is good. So yeah.
But
he reviewed that doorstop. I don't know about that. I don't know.
Very cool. I'd love to get Steve on a live stream, and not being on his live stream, like actually get him on a live stream and just watch him sweat. That'd be brilliant.
It would be fun.
Yeah,
you could take it. He's a man.
It's fine. Right. Okay. Nice one. Cheers, mate. Rich, what you got going on there, mate?
I don't have much going on, to be honest. I'm liking this topic. I'm wondering if I could do a video this week kind of centering around the same thing. but I'll toy with that. Just a quick thing. I remember looking the other day of bands that are coming to Denver, and Nation of Language is one of them. They're coming on October 2nd, and I'm going, maybe I should go to that.
Yeah.
And I know the venue; it's a perfect venue for them, so that'll be interesting. But otherwise, Videoland, I don't know yet. I'm one of those people. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, "Hey, I could do a video about that," and I do a video about that, and we go from there. Trying to maybe be more consistent with the Friday live stream, the Friday happy hour thing. It seemed to be going pretty well. Rob Walker showed up the other day. I was like, holy, and Rob Northern Revolutions. So yeah, we'll see where that's going. I may have to play with the time a little bit because it's hard to get people in different countries on live streams when we're doing weird hours.
Yep.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. Joe.
Just to stay consistent, I haven't done a video in, I don't know, a bunch of months. So if you think Trevor doesn't do videos, I do even less. How about that? I do for the store. But that doesn't, I talk about this on our Wednesday night live. So I'll talk about that in a second. But the store doesn't necessarily apply other than, and I know that you watch, Chris, and I appreciate that. If you just like watching some dumbass talk about records for 10 to 15 minutes, it's okay to watch. But it only applies somewhat to people within the buying area around the store because we don't ship. So I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's just the way that we do it. So, but then, yeah, Wednesday nights live on our good friend, Rob's Northern Revolutions. I'm on with that all the time. And, yeah, like I said, at the start, I like doing this. I like having the conversation. I like talking to my friends about music and finding out what they like, what they don't like, what they've listened to, what they've not listened to, things like that. And, again, tonight, I think we've all got a list of 2 or 3, if not more, from Cam for sure, which is kind of nice to have someone from a different, not that you guys aren't different in the United States versus Canada, but North America versus over there, where there's some bands that maybe Cam brought up that are bigger over there and or more familiar over there. Although what was it again? I wrote it down.
National Language. Yeah,
Right.
National Language, yeah.
Richard was familiar, but Richard's way smarter than I am. So I like doing the live stuff. I like having the conversation. I like doing the videos too from time to time. I'll still do them, but I like having the conversation. So thank you so much for having me on. I know you've asked lots, and now you might never ask again now that I've been on. But
no, I'll keep asking every week, mate. I'll drive you up the wall.
Yeah.
One more thing, though, Joe.
Yes.
Where can I get these kind of inner sleeves, mate? Because
those, yeah. So I'm fairly certain. I wasn't gonna because it's it's not the show, but I'll do it. I'll do it all the same. So as for those that aren't aware, you can see most of us, if not all of us, have a lovely outer sleeve and a lovely inner sleeve for a lot of our albums. Some of us actually put the record on the inside like this, so we never have to touch the the actual album itself anymore. But these outer sleeves and these inner sleeves can be purchased at vinylstoragesolutions.ca, a good Canadian company. So, there's that. If you like us Canadians, a good Canadian company. But what I need you to do is I need you to use the promo code Northern10 because that will get you an extra 10% off on your inner and your outer sleeves. They're good stuff. They ship internationally. They ship worldwide. Shipping, I'm not sure exactly what, but use that promo code Northern10 because it'll get you 10% off. And wrap it up. We talked about don't skip school, kids. Wrap it up. Wrap up your vinyl as well. So there you go.
Gents, I think that deserves a round of applause.
I'm just a shill, and I get nothing. I get zip. I don't even get 10% of the 10%. That's all just for the love of Rob and the love of Vinyl Storage Solutions. So
sorry, mate. I just couldn't resist it. I was like, "What? You're on here. I gotta do it. Let's do it."
I can come up with stupid shit to say at the drop of a hat anytime.
I said to Rob before, and I think I said it on the live stream when I was on the live stream, we should have a picture of you instead of Rob on the front with a QR code, so you could just click on your face.
Yeah. My best Vanna White post.
That's it, yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cheers, Joe.
How about
Appreciate
you?
it.
What's up on your channel? What's going on in?
I've got to Cam first, and then we'll see what's happening. Cam, what's going on, mate? You've done Rhino this week, Sex
Rhino.
Pistols, I think.
Yeah. So I've got film one today actually, and I just need to finish editing it after this, which will probably be up tomorrow. And it's I said about I'm getting into my jazz and stuff recently, like last few years. And there's a few albums that I think need to be like reissued through that Tone Poet series or the that new Verve Vault series that's been announced. So yeah, there's just a few albums I think I'm going to talk about on there. And that comes out probably tomorrow. And then, yeah, I've got a whole host of pre-order. I think October is like my most busiest month for deliveries. And my wife is going to kill me and hate me with the doorbell going off constantly.
Yeah.
So I'll do a bunch of reviews in October of the records I'm getting. So, yeah,
Me and
that's
Richard
coming
were
up on me.
Me and Richard were talking on the live stream on Friday, and I was like, I've never ordered so many pre-orders in August in my entire life, I think. So,
Pretty
Yeah,
good.
September has been crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
3 right now.
Yeah,
4.
it's nuts. Okay, for me, the only order I got at the moment now is Buckingham and Nix. That's literally on a raft over the Atlantic Ocean.
Same.
Yeah, that's the only thing going on. So as that arrives, I'll do it. I think I'm going to do a September pickup video because I picked up so many freaking vinyl records. It's insane. I've never bought so many records in my life. And Liz goes, "Oh, there's a parcel here for you." I'm like, yeah, I have no idea what that is, honestly, until I open it and go, "Oh, I forgot about that." So,
Oh yeah, right. I forgot I ordered that. Yeah, that's the problem with doing these and watching these is that so many great recommendations but that's okay. It's cheaper than cocaine. It's always still well, I don't know if it is or not because I haven't bought cocaine for a long time. I think it's
I thought he's going to say for months. So,
well, for like at least a couple of weeks ago anyway, but
yeah, yeah. The thing is, because you pre-order stuff, and I kind of forget then, and then it comes in, you're like, oh, this could be anything at this point now, because it's just kind of like what's going on here. Yeah, so Buckingham Nix is the next one. I do a live stream every Sunday. I'll probably do a video just what I picked up this week or next week coming up. So I'd like to thank all my guests this evening. Cam, I really appreciate you coming on, mate. Is this your first ever live stream?
Yeah, this is my first ever one, so thank you for having me. Yeah, it's been really fun. I really enjoyed it.
Cool.
My co-host, as usual, Richard. Thanks for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. Trevor, first time on here, first time meeting. Really appreciate you coming on because of the time difference. And,
Thank you.
And I feel like Dexter here, the guy I always wanted to get on here. So thank you, Joe. I appreciate it, mate.
No, I appreciate you asking. I appreciate you having me on, and I appreciate the fact that you may or may not, depending on how this went, we'll ask you back again. So
I think I need to get you back on because your collection is amazing. You need to do a room tour update as well, I think.
yeah, and I should probably do a new one. Yeah, I will. Thanks.
Right. Thanks everybody left message in the chat. Thanks to everybody who's watched this live. Thanks to everybody who's going to watch this later. I really appreciate it. I will post every single channel in the description below so you can go check out all the channels. I highly recommend it. Absolutely fantastic bunch of guys that know what they're talking about, unlike me. So thanks for watching again. And we'll catch you on a live stream next Sunday. So thanks very much for watching. Thanks.
Cheers.
Okay, cheers.